3,500 five-star Google reviews. Their service is off the charts. Call now to start the conversation. 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. 919-381-1760. Get debt relief now. Loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender. NMLS 166171 on approved credit. NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
That dog does not want to be petted.
Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its pre-diabetes awareness partners.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it.
That one back, that one going, gone!
Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com. WCMC-FM HD1 Holly Springs.
I think Tiger stands alone in the game of golf. You know, he was inspirational for me growing up, and he was a very, very talented guy, and he was a special person to be able to be as good as he was at the game of golf. And I don't focus on that kind of stuff. That's not what motivates me. I'm not motivated by winning championships, and I don't look at the beginning of the year and just say, hey, I want to win X amount of tournaments. I want to win whatever it is. I don't do that. I have dreams and aspirations that I think about, but at the end of the day, you know, when I wake up and to practice, you know, I feel like what motivates me is just getting out and, you know, getting to live out my dream. I get to play professional golf.
Hi, everyone. It's the Adam Gold Show. I am him. Victoria is here.
Yes.
Tomorrow, you, me,
Yes.
others,
Yes.
Charlotte.
Let's go.
So
Field trip.
Where are we stopping for lunch?
I know. We just get to talk about food while everybody else gets to eat lunch.
That's right. Well, you normally stop at a rest stop.
Mm-hmm.
So I've done the like Raleigh area to DC field trip 3 times.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, because my younger son has done it twice. Older son has done it once, and I chaperoned all 3. And we stopped at the same rest stop on the way up for lunch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There you go. I mean, if it's a good one.
It's too early.
Yeah.
To be honest, it was way too early to do
Right.
that.
Yeah.
But anyway, we've all done it. Mm-hmm. Air and Space. The last time we were at Air and Space, everything was closed. Like, not everything. Like 75% of the museum was closed.
Oh.
Like, why are we here?
Yeah.
Like, there's other museums.
Yeah.
We don't have to go to Air and Space.
Yeah.
Like, Air and Space is cool.
Now it's a tradition.
So, like, why are we here?
Mm-hmm.
And then they leave you like an hour, and then you can go to whatever museum you want.
Yeah.
In the last hour. But,
Yeah.
you got to be back at the bus like 40 minutes. So, 20 minutes before everybody leaves. And really, they want you there earlier than that. So you get like 20 minutes.
Pretty much.
What are we doing?
Yeah. Exactly.
So,
that's when you have the brown paper bag with the PB&J.
Well, no, that's early in the day. Like at the end, it's just it's madness.
Yeah.
But everybody does the same. You do the same rotation. You go to Arlington National Cemetery. Which have you ever been to Arlington?
Yes, long
The
time
National
ago.
Cemetery is tremendous in that it is a very, very solemn, but I think strikingly beautiful place. And the ceremony of the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, and that they do every, it's like 30 minutes or whatever it is. And to watch the Marine, how they, I want to use a correct term, almost parade out the Marine who is in charge, who, as they walk across that red carpet.
Yeah.
Honestly, they don't walk. They glide.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I really don't
impressive.
think that he's touching the ground.
Mm-m. It's like Michael Jackson.
It is. It's just striking. It's awe-inspiring.
It's a lot of feels.
So there's cool. There's a lot of things to do in DC. We don't have to go to Air and Space every time.
No.
We can go to Archives. Archives is cool.
Yeah.
Right. We can go to the new African American History Museum, which is amazing.
Yeah.
for my money, the opposite end of the spectrum is the Holocaust Museum, which for a lot of people can't do it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've done it a couple of times, but the African American History Museum is really about the museum of music. I mean, it's obviously there's a lot more there, but there's so much in it about popular music and sports culture and other things. But that's the thing that grabbed me was, man, this is all about the music that we all grew up loving. Oh, by the way, yesterday at the end of our show, we found out that Ozzy Osbourne passed away. You know who else passed away yesterday? Actually, it might have been the day before.
It was the day before.
Malcolm Jamal Warner.
I know. Theo
Huxtable.
I know. And it's so sad, too. It was a drowning, and people thought, he was an adult, but it was like current.
Rip current,
a strong current that got him. So you got to be careful out there. I don't mess with that stuff.
There you go. You just heard it right there. Be careful.
From the former lifeguard.
in the were you a lifeguard?
Oh, that was one of my many jobs to get me through college.
All right, we got to get Jack. That's what Jack needs to do.
Yeah.
Just stand there at the side of the pool holding that red, whatever that red thing is.
Depends on what pool you work at. Tell you that right now.
Really? Okay.
They're not all the same.
No, they're probably not. They're probably not. All right, let's play a game. All right. Will Brinson's going to join us in about 20 minutes. Christine Brennan next hour. And then Vashti Hurt's going to join us from Panthers Training Camp in Spartanburg. Yes, today was the first full day of training camp. I know everybody reported yesterday. So we're going to hear from a couple of particulars. First, I can tell you that Dave Canales said that nobody's going to want to play us this year.
He did.
Fine.
Yeah.
Training camp. And I've said this before. Only people like us, whether we're members of the media or fans, go into seasons thinking that, we're going to suck.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
I promise you, every team that reports to training camp feels like we are a playoff team. Every team. There isn't a single player who will go into training camp thinking, no, man, if we can win 5 games, that'll be great. Nobody thinks that way. We do. Right? But players do not. Coaches do not. So I do not begrudge, even though I did chuckle. Mm-hmm. I do not begrudge Dave Canales saying that at all.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to hear from Dave Canales something weird from Bryce Young as well. We're also going to talk college football here. We have two major holdouts in the NFL. Trey Hendrickson, the defensive end from Cincinnati, who has not reported, and Terry McLaurin, the wide receiver from Washington. He has not reported. Micah Parsons, the do-everything, probably the best defensive player in the league, he has reported to Dallas, even though he has been trying to get a new contract out of the Cowboys for the last, really, year and a half. He said he tried to get one at the beginning of last year when they were eligible to renegotiate. After 3 years, first-round picks, you can negotiate an extension. They didn't do it last year. Haven't done it now. Frankly, I'm not sure why he's at training camp, but maybe that will appease the people who say, well, you've got a contract, you got to go. Nah, man. NFL players have limited leverage. Very, very limited leverage. Their leverage is their ability. And use it when you can. Trey Hendrickson should use it. The Bengals want to keep him, but the Bengals want to keep him on the cheap. And no player, I would say no player in professional sports, but no player in the NFL, especially given the short nature of their careers, no player in the NFL should play for anything less than his market value. Don't do it. Like, what about Tom Brady? Outlier. Outlier, and if it adds to your deification of Tom Brady, bless you. That's fine. I'm not knocking it. I also think it's a lot easier when you have been making $27 million a year for 10 years, 12 years, 15 years. But regardless, Tom has never maxed out. You know who else? What was that a word? Did I say else?
It was like two together.
Do you know who else?
Yes.
Until later in his career didn't max out? Michael Jordan. We don't bring that up with Jordan very often.
No.
Right? Jordan, for years, was paid less than his, like what LeBron is doing with all these short contracts. LeBron is always maxed out. And that's fine. Get it. Go get your money. The billionaires have the money.
Yeah.
Go get it. Anyway, I just kind of went off on a rant for no other reason. All right, let's talk a little bit about the Panthers. Because yesterday, Josey Jewell, who's had injuries, got hurt the end of last year, is not ready to play, and basically announced that, well, he's probably not going to be ready to play this year. So the Panthers released him. Here's Dave Canales on Josey Jewell's absence.
Yeah, I mean, we had to adhere to the normal concussion protocol, which we did. We did all that. And first, to talk about Josey, you talk about a leader. Guy didn't say a lot. When he talked, people listened. The toughness, the character, the aggressive style of play, always making plays on the ball. You know, throughout his career, the reason why we brought him here, and I think for me as a first-year head coach last year, to have somebody that I could point to who really exemplifies the type of effort, the type of physicality, the character. He's a no-nonsense guy. You know, he wants guys to just look at the truth of what it was, get to the bottom of it, and fix it. And he was always at the heart of those conversations. So it's a big loss, definitely for us from that standpoint. You know, and then as far as the rest of it, we just kind of had to take it at Josey's pace, and with all the specialists that were working with him. You know, Dan and Brant, worked with the agent and talked to them, and we felt like this was the best outcome right now. With the first, and most important thing for Josey is getting healthy. And getting him to a place where he can make that sound decision on playing football, which he wants to do, or whatever is after that. So I'm proud of the fact that we just had upfront conversations throughout the whole time, and that's what I appreciated about the interaction. To follow up,
concussions, man.
Don't want to mess with them.
I mean, you just never know. Like it's always bothered me when people have said mild concussion. A concussion is a concussion.
Mm-hmm.
And for whatever reason, some people are, it's not that you're less susceptible to them, although that might be true. It's that some people recover as best you can quickly. And others, it lingers. And it lingers a long time. And what we do know is that once you get a concussion, it becomes easier to get the next one and the next one after that. And I do understand the NFL has tried to minimize concussions. They've tried to essentially legislate. You can't legislate concussions out of the game because, as the old saying goes, there's every play is a series of car wrecks. But as best they can, they have taken plays out of the game that they have determined, we can argue all day long on this, that they have determined create a higher probability of discussions, which is why we're sort of getting back to having kickoff returns in the game, and they have realized that it's not really about the returner getting tackled, it's more about the speed of the blocker and the blockee. So if you notice the way the rule has evolved, in that they're essentially making it a kickoff line of scrimmage play, where the two lines of scrimmage are about 10 yards apart. So we don't have two groups of people picking up massively high speeds and crashing into each other. It's more along the lines of a scrimmage play, which, again, still has a lot of contact, but you can't take if we took every exciting play out of football, we would just play flag.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, at that point, and I'm not one of those, super hyped up about the physicality of the game, but there are certain things you can't take away. And
That's an element.
Right, and this is why I've argued forever that we shouldn't, honestly, I get the NFL taking action to what they feel will prevent concussions, but I have said this for, going back to the great concussion debate however many years ago we had started having these, is that what they should really do is just make sure that they take care of every player post-career too.
Yeah.
All of these guys have made the decision. They understand. They understand what the life of contact, especially head contact, likely will, cause down the road. We all came to grips with what CTE was because of, honestly, massive cover-ups in the NFL. But we understand what that is, and the greater propensity of, basically having that after your career in football because of all of the head trauma. Anyway, again, another tangent for me. So hopefully everything will work out with Josey Jewell. If he can get through this, maybe there is more football for him down the road. But it's certainly not going to happen right away. No. Robert Hunt is the one of the two guards for the Panthers, and we'll talk about, I did want to bring this up very quickly because it relates to Josey Jewell. Here's what it leaves Carolina in inside linebackers if they play a 3-4. Christian Roseboom and Trevin Wallace. Those are the two starting inside linebackers. Now, Trevin Wallace was a third-round pick a year ago, right?
Yeah,
I think a third-round pick a year ago. They like his future. Roseboom, okay. Obviously, that's an area that, without Josey Jewell, is worth monitoring because those inside linebacker positions are in many ways your run stoppers, right? It's going to be hard. Carolina has had a hard time stopping the run, so we'll see. We know we like them we certainly like them at one corner, but I read a lot today about who is it? Damian Richardson, the other cornerback. I don't remember. I think it was Damian Richardson, who I think they got from the Jets last year after the final cutdowns. I saw him pick off a pass. I think they're pretty high. They were at the beginning of last season. I don't think he played a ton last year, but I think they kind of like him as a player. We'll see how it all shakes out. All right, Robert Hunt is one of the offensive guards for the Panthers, and he talked about the different vibe.
I think last year was nobody knew, you know what I mean, including me. I got into a situation here, not really knowing what I was getting into. Didn't know much about Carolina, didn't know much about the Panthers, never really watched them, kept up with them. But then getting into the building, getting into the stadium and playing the game stuff, you see, I don't know, you can feel it, man. It's, this city, speaking for the city, has a lot of hope. They want winners, and you can feel it once it's kind of close. Even we won 5 games last year, which is not great by any means, but it felt like we were doing something great. You know what I mean? Because it's the city looking for it. So that vibe feels great. The team vibe feels great. I feel like the teams feel that, and we all want to be good, man, no matter what it is.
Yeah, everybody wants to be good.
Mm-hmm.
But I do agree, and it speaks to the fact that players and coaches are, I'm not going to say optimistic, they are just confident that they're good enough. You have to have that mentality. Otherwise, you're basically already cooked.
Yeah.
And look, I still think that's a 7-win team, but when you start winning is contagious. Winning builds confidence. Confidence makes you better than you actually are. All right. College football. We're going to talk a lot about college football tomorrow, a little bit about it today. We're not going to ignore college football today. But at the Big Ten Media Day, which is in Vegas, our friend Chip Patterson, who's not going to join us today. We're missing Chip Patterson today.
Oh, no.
As Chip is busy talking to the likes of Curt Cignetti, who is Indiana's football coach. And this is from the Cover 3 podcast yesterday. You'll hear Chip's voice at the end of this maybe, but I believe it's Bud Elliott asking Curt Cignetti whether or not he was nervous that his Hoosiers at 11-1 could potentially miss out on the playoff.
Were you actually nervous that they might take a 9-3 team over y'all's one-loss team? Like, how much were you buying into the rhetoric and some of the stuff from the shows that that might happen?
No, I wasn't. Not after the Purdue game. I did get a little nervous after we lost to Ohio State, and then subsequently the SEC teams went down later in the day, because I could feel the tidal wave coming from the South and major networks that cover the SEC.
Sure.
Yes. Like, where'd this come from? I thought we were a feel-good story. All of a sudden, we're the hunted enemy. When did that change? Is this just a bad dream?
Why are we the bad guy? No one's made us the bad guy.
All right. I just want to point, first of all, funny, all of that, entertaining, Cover 3 podcast, great. Shame that we skipped the real challenger to Indiana's spot in the playoff, which was not 9-3 Alabama, but 10-2 Miami. And I'm frankly, and this is the one thing, and we're not going to get a chance to talk to Jim Phillips tomorrow. I know this. We're shooting for the week of the regular season opener. And I'm going to ask Jim Phillips whether or not, because here Greg Sankey gets on his bully pulpit and talks about how great the SEC is. He's not wrong. And talks about how their team should get the benefit of the doubt. He's not wrong. They should. But could Jim Phillips, in any way, shape, or form, have tilted the scales in favor of Miami, who lost twice, once to Georgia Tech, who should have beaten Georgia, lost in 8 overtimes in Athens. And Miami also lost their last game of the season at Syracuse, who won 10 games. So those are Miami's 2 losses. They included a pretty thorough beating of Florida from the SEC. Why wasn't that the conversation? Indiana's non-conference schedule included Millbrook High School, the Knights of Columbus, and 5 guys who were playing football on the beach. They played nobody outside the league, and if you want to know who they played inside the Big Ten, just go to the bottom of the standings and work your way up, except for Ohio State. They played nobody. And by the way, the Big Ten is complaining about the selection process, because Tony Petitti knows that without the guarantees, it's unlikely that they will get 4 teams in. He knows. Without 4 guaranteed spots, he understands how unlikely it is that the Big Ten will be good enough to have 4 teams in the playoff if we go to 16. They got 4 in this past year. Indiana was, sadly, a fraud. As I say that, and this will be my final comment on this, at least for today, I'm not saying that Miami was great or that Clemson was great. They clearly weren't. Or that SMU was great, although SMU played a much better schedule than Indiana. But that court of public opinion fell in love with Indiana. When is Indiana football ever going to be this good again? And they swallowed it whole. and they overlooked everything they would not otherwise overlook for anybody else. This was like, this is our chance to put Indiana in the college football playoff. And they simply didn't belong there. They just didn't. Anyway, that's my soapbox. I probably had more things I wanted to bring up, but we're out of time on this. Will Brinson's going to join us on the other side. We'll talk some holdouts. We'll talk some Panthers. We'll talk Jerry Jones and Mike Brown, who are on opposite ends of the ownership spectrum when it comes to paying players. One refuses to pay them. The other is dumb enough to pay them the most possible money.
Yes.
All of that is next.
Talking sports, dropping truth. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, Carolina Panthers fans, it's Dennis Cox from 99.9 The Fan. We're in the offseason, but it doesn't mean me and my co-host, WREL TV's Chris Lee, take a break from our podcast, Panthers Playbook. In every episode, we'll keep you up to date on Panthers news as training camp approaches, insights on the rookies, the free agents, and the surprises, plus all the insider info on the upcoming season. Follow and subscribe to Panthers Playbook wherever you discover your favorite podcast or watch on YouTube.
Fargo, your virtual assistant from Wells Fargo, makes banking faster and easier. Like this.
Fargo, what did I spend on groceries last month?
And this.
Fargo, turn off my debit card.
And this.
Fargo, what's my checking account routing number?
And that's just the beginning. Do you, Fargo? You can in the Wells Fargo mobile app. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/getfargo.
Fargo is only available on the smartphone versions of the Wells Fargo mobile app. Wells Fargo Bank N.A., member FDIC.
What sounds like a fun weekend?
Let's rent e-bikes and have a picnic.
What does not sound like a fun weekend?
We need to fix the gutters. Let's make 6 trips to the hardware store and still end up with leaky spots.
Preserve your weekend, your home, and investment, and call Preserve Services instead. Our Preserve team excels in interior and exterior painting and home repairs. We're your one-stop shop in the Triangle for jobs you need done, but don't want to tackle. And get this, you don't pay a penny until the job's done. Schedule today at PreserveServices.com.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with AutoPay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025, Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 in monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
It's bow time. Something new just dropped at Bojangles. Take the bold taste of a crispy golden chicken supreme that's been seasoned to perfection, then add dill pickles, Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, and a toasted bun that's great on the go. What do you get? You get a Bo's Bird Dog. In fact, you can grab 2 of them for $5. So when you're on the go, headed to practice, or need a snack, grab a Bo's Bird Dog. Hurry in before they're gone. Available for a limited time. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time, but sometimes it's go time. No time to stop, but the perfect time for a Bojangles Bird Dog. A seasoned to perfection Bojangles Chicken Supremes, dill pickles, and Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, all tucked inside a toasted bun. Great on the go. Try 2 Bird Dogs for just $5 or 2 Bird Dog combo for just $8.25. Available for limited time only. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's bow time.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time on a fancy water bottle with ultra titanium alloy metal. You're not sure why you need all that. I mean, it just holds water. But you're getting it anyway. Because if you're hiking near an active volcano and you accidentally drop the bottle into molten lava, your water will still be icy cold. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time. For water bottles. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
This is is Adam Gold.
He doesn't have many years to choose from.
No, and part of that was COVID. Nobody's picking COVID.
COVID was a great year.
Yeah.
Look, if you invested in Zoom,
oh, that was a good year.
You had a good year during COVID.
Yep.
The Adam Gold Show.
There we are. It's the Adam Gold Show. There are people watching on YouTube going, I can see Adam, and his lips are moving, but there was nothing coming out. YouTube, search Adam Gold Show or 99.9 The Fan tomorrow, just to get us on YouTube, and we will be coming to you from Charlotte for ACC football kickoff. Yesterday, it was the Jim Phillips Show, not to mention we heard from two former Carolina Panthers head coaches, Ron Rivera, who is the general manager at Cal, and Frank Reich, who is, at this point, a one-year head coach at Stanford, as everything blew up in that football program's face. And I think an interesting development in college football is a GM like Andrew Luck having the power to hire and fire. Because we have a general manager here in Mike Lombardi for UNC. And we got UNC stuff to talk about, too. But Lombardi works for Bill Belichick, the head coach. It seems at Stanford, Andrew Luck's in charge of football. And, I kind of think that's pretty cool. In some ways, it's more of a traditional NFL structure. And maybe it is at Carolina with Bill Belichick, too, as the head coach is really in charge. Will Brinson, senior NFL writer, CBSSports.com, joins us on the Adam Gold Show. We've heard from Robert Hunt, Carolina Panthers offensive guard. We've heard from Dave Canales expressing extreme optimism. Hunt talking about, we expect to win. Dave Canales, nobody's going to want to play us. I personally think that's the only thing you'll ever hear from NFL teams. Everybody thinks that they're good going into the season. Is there a situation you can recall where a team went into the season knowing they were going to stink?
I was just trying to think of. I don't think so. I mean, because any sport, right? Even if you've got a basketball team that's obviously tanking, you don't get to be a professional athlete by embracing the belief that you might be terrible.
Right.
I always think about my favorite example was your former favorite team, the New York Jets.
Yes.
And I believe former first-round pick D. Milliner out of Alabama was going into his second or third season. He'd been struggling as a young player.
Yeah.
And, people are like, well, how are you going to deal with this? He's like, I think I'm the best quarterback in the NFL. And it was the most ridiculous statement of all time. Dude, you're clearly not. But I think you have to believe that. And so in that sense, you're never going to have a team or a coach or really any players. I mean, outside of maybe I'm trying to think of if there's ever been one, especially in the NFL though, where, you're on a team for a short period of time. The season is such a small sample size, and there is so much variance that we've seen, teams be really good when we least expect it. But no, you're almost never going to hear that, even though, it's entirely possible that the Panthers, despite making gains last year in a lot of different areas, whether it's the offensive line, Bryce Young's play, not really the defense per se, but maybe it gets better. It's entirely possible that the Panthers win 5 games. And it's entirely possible that the Panthers win 11 games. And I don't think that the latter is likely. I don't think it's likely. They got a former number 1 overall pick at quarterback. Right. And they just drafted a first-round rookie wide receiver who has, you talk about variance. I mean, T-Mac to McMillan, Tat, whatever we're calling him. I mean, this guy could be he could be an all-pro, out of the gate, or he could, be a guy that sort of struggles to be consistent. I just think with every NFL team, there's a ton of variance. When you talk about the teams at the top and at the bottom of the league, like very clearly, there's maybe a little less variance, and that's sort of what separates it. But when you lump in, let's say you shave off the top 6 teams and the bottom 6 teams, you got 20 other teams where there is a wide swath of outcomes that are possible for those teams. I think the Panthers fall in that third category.
Will Brinson, senior NFL writer, CBSSports.com, at Will Brinson on Twitter. I was looking, and not that I want to go down, the schedule and go, that's a win, that's a loss, that's a win, that's a win. But Jacksonville, Arizona on the road out of the gate, Atlanta at home, at New England, Miami and Dallas at the Jets, their first 7 games. I don't know if there's a team in there that's supposed to be anything more than decent, to be honest, right? Jacksonville, Arizona, Atlanta, New England, Miami, Dallas. Dallas is probably the best in terms of the roster of those teams. I mean, that is a friendly start to your 17-game schedule, no?
I don't think you have a game. I'm going to double-check the week 1 line here on, do you care what sportsbook I use?
I don't care.
Sportsbook?
If you want to use FanDuel, that's fine, but it doesn't matter.
Well, I fired up, I just hit a tab and hit D, so DraftKings came up. But FanDuel probably same line. Week 1, Panthers at the Jaguars, so you're on the road. Not to get into the nitty gritty of it, but I mean, roughly for a long time, we've assumed 3 points for home field advantage. Panthers are +3, -112. Not to get into the nitty gritty of why it's -112, but it's really inching towards 2.5. So yeah, right there you have a immediate road game against a team that's probably on a similar-ish level in terms of expectations. Former number 1 overall pick who hasn't necessarily lived up to the hype in Trevor Lawrence, a brand new coaching staff. Jags win total is 7.5, juice the over. Panthers, I think, is
6.5, right?
6.5, juice to the over. So I mean, again, we're talking about these teams that are lumped kind of right in the middle, right? And then you start to look at the other games on the schedule. You have at Arizona, they're probably and obviously this will change, but I mean, it depends on what happens with week 1, of course. But I mean, it's not unreasonable to, and I'm trying to get down to find the Panthers at the Cardinals. They're 4.5-point dogs right now. Yeah, that's what I would have expected.
Yeah,
you're Atlanta at home. You're probably a pick 'em, maybe a 1 or 2 point dog, depending on how Michael Penix looks early on. At New England,
all tight. Yeah,
that's going to be a tight game. I would think they're pretty. Assuming health for the Cowboys and that they look decent, I would think they'd be like a 2 or 3 point dog, maybe more at home against them in week 6. Miami, same thing, right? I mean, a lot depends on that first month of the season. And then at the Jets, I mean, if the Panthers are good, they'd be favored going into that game. So yeah, I think it's incumbent on Carolina if they want to have a good season in 2025 that they, on the road, the first 2 weeks of the season is not ideal. You're on the road the first 3 of the first 4 weeks.
Yep.
You really got to you have to stack some wins early if you want to, 1, beat that win total of 6.5, and then 2, be competitive. I don't think there's a team in the division with Bucks, Falcons, Saints that is, miles and miles better than the Panthers. And again, a lot depends on, health of certain guys like Chris Godwin, maybe not ready for the start of the season for the Bucks.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know. Michael Penix should come out and be an MVP candidate.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden that changes. But, I think right now that division's so wide open, and you have these division games are going to flip who wins in there. That's just where all those factors contribute to the Panthers' variance. If they start 0-4, I mean, you can't wave the season goodbye, but it's going to be a tough road to hoe, even with 3 of those on the road.
No doubt about it. But if they get off to a good start, the back half of the last 10 games of the schedule, for the most part, it's pretty stout. So a good start is paramount just to keep them really viable when we get to around Thanksgiving, leading up to Thanksgiving, and the run-in.
I mean, if you want to make a college comparison, shout out ATW talking about NC State's early schedule. TCU, Virginia, at Wake, at Duke. Those are the 4 teams you play early on. It's like you gotta stack some wins early, because if you don't, and it gets harder on the back end, it's difficult to have a slow start, get the pressure that sort of builds on that, and then to make a run.
Yeah, real quick, you said ECU, not TCU, right?
I said ECU. Yeah, Carolina gets TCU.
Right,
yeah.
Exactly. I just want to make sure, because I was there. I just want to make sure. Right.
Charlie versus Will.
Hey, look,
ECU versus State.
I know you and I don't talk a lot of college football here. We certainly mention it. Carolina TCU is a must-win for UNC/the ACC. There are about 4, maybe 5 games in week 1 that the ACC has to win for PR purposes. All right, let me get back to the NFL with Will Brinson, because I want to talk about 2 owners at opposite ends of the spectrum. But real quick, if you are 6th all-time in passing yards and 6th all-time in touchdown passes, are you a Hall of Famer? Phillip Rivers announced that he will retire officially as a San Diego or Los Angeles Charger at the start of the season. Is Phillip Rivers a Hall of Famer?
I mean, he should be.
I agree with you.
Unquestionably, I think he should be. I personally think that. I mean, it's weird. It's weird. How we evaluate these things is really hard. I was shocked. If Eli Manning and Ben Roethlisberger are going to get in, and they will eventually, Phillip Rivers needs to be in too. I think. Look, I get that the explosion of passing and all of that, but I mean, to me, it's a no-brainer, and I think, just given his relationship with the media, which has a very strong relationship, his success in terms of statistics. No, he didn't ever win a Super Bowl, but I mean, year in and year out, like a viable second-tier MVP candidate. Led the Chargers to some great seasons. I think he will eventually get in, but there is going to be the sort of political processes that are in place where I would guess that the lack of the Super Bowl, and certainly lack of 2 Super Bowls, will have him get in after both Ben and Eli.
Yeah, I mean, I put Ben of those 3. I would put
the resume for Ben at the top, and then Phil, and then Eli.
I agree. That's why we're friends. All right, to opposite ends of the ownership spectrum. On one end, you have Mike Brown, who does everything possible to not pay his players. He doesn't want to pay Trey Hendrickson, certainly their best defensive player. He doesn't want to pay their top draft pick, right, Shamar Stewart, and actually said, if you're sitting in jail, I don't want to pay you. I'm like, dude, if you're worried about your top pick sitting in jail, he shouldn't have been your top pick. Not to mention, there's a lot of suspect things about that comment there. And then you got on the other end, Jerry Jones, who does everything possible, probably unintentionally, to pay his players the most by waiting until the end. What do you make of the 2 situations? Micah Parsons is not holding out. Trey Hendrickson is.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're Micah Parsons, you sort of look at the situations with CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott where, it's frustrating that this is taking so long, but at the end of the day, you're going to end up, getting paid at the top of the market when you do eventually get paid, and Jerry will make a big deal out of it. So, I wouldn't be overly worried about that. Plus, the reality is, if Jerry wanted to string this out and be, just totally flip, really string it out and just do franchise tags. I mean, which, he did with Dak. He's like, oh, what's he tagging you?
Yeah.
Well, eventually there is going to be an inflection point where you have to decide, do we pay him or let him go to the open market? I mean, Micah Parsons would get the contract would be outrageous what he would get in an open market situation. I mean, look at T.J. Watt and Myles Garrett. We talked about those contracts and what they got under contract with their teams. Micah Parsons would blow out of the water what we've seen defensive players get paid if he hit the open market. Conversely, with the Bengals, it's like, man, I mean, yeah, like you just fired USC or DC, excuse me, bring in Al Golden, and you like they just had this habit of sort of like making these runs of like good first round picks or good early round picks where it's like back-to-back Burrow and Jamar Chase that reinvigorates your entire franchise. And then you followed up with Jermaine Burton and Shamar Stewart, and all of a sudden, you just sort of walking that fine line of what kind of prospects you're going to pull in. You put yourself in a situation where, like these negotiations and the players that you have on your roster, you want to say that the Bengals could be a Super Bowl team. You want to say the Bengals could win the division, and those things are possible because they have Joe Burrow. But there's just a lot of other factors that have traditionally, the Bungles. That's why they were called the Bungles. That they dealt with that go to play here that just sort of make it tough to get over that hump. And you almost need this perfect storm of everything that they got in that near Super Bowl run that they had.
Being cheap is not going to win.
Being a cheap billionaire, I mean, is great if you're trying to make more money. But if you're trying to win football games, it doesn't really go very far.
No, it doesn't. And it keeps speaking back to my overall premise that salary caps don't necessarily create a level playing field, but that's just another story. Ownership is important. It's the most important factor in all of sports. And I think we can question Jerry Jones' ownership from a certain standpoint. He's real quick. I've got literally 30 seconds. Is Jerry Jones a top half of the NFL general manager?
No. Okay. He's the top half of the NFL owner. He is definitely not. I think Will McClay does probably a lot more for the Cowboys than Jerry Jones, and Jerry would be best served being the PR guy, the owner, and letting football guys make decisions.
Yep, and that's what diminishes him as an owner, because he is just not good enough as a GM. And it's disrespectful to people who've worked their whole lives in football to gain that status, and he decides because it's his toy, he wants to play with it. Will Brinson, CBSSports.com, senior NFL writer, at Will Brinson on Twitter. Sir, talk to you very soon.
All right, buddy. Talk to you soon, man.
Thank you. All right, we'll do one-timers when we come back. Christine Brennan next hour. We just had the WNBA All-Star Game. We have some numbers in from that are pretty striking, but we'll do one-timers next.
Making more sports sense than social media trolls. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
I had questions about my child's vaccines, so I got real answers from her doctor because we share the same goal, keeping her healthy and strong. Her doctor told me that keeping up with childhood vaccines, getting them at the recommended ages and sometimes together, is a proven way to protect her from serious illnesses, ones that can be prevented with vaccines. Have questions? Get real answers. Talk to your doctor. Visit vaccinesforkids.nc.gov. Paid for by NCDHHS.
Make this your best summer yet by having fun while staying active and engaged. AARP can help. Find AARP events near you by visiting aarp.org/local. That's aarp.org/local to find both in-person and virtual events. You can also learn more about living your best life by listening to AARP Without Limits, wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Ask any college student. If it wasn't for the last minute, lots of assignments wouldn't get done. So if you haven't figured out your plan for college and how to pay for it yet, don't worry, you've still got time. And with the next NC scholarship, you can still get money to pay for most or all of your tuition. To apply, just fill out your FAFSA and you could get $3,000 for community college or $5,000 for public university, and possibly more. See how easy it is to apply at nextncscholarship.org.
The North Carolina Healthcare Association invites you to listen to this month's podcast, Conversations on the State of Healthcare. Each year, 3.6 million people in the U.S. delay or skip medical care altogether simply because they can't get to a healthcare provider. From long distances to unreliable public transit to the cost of a tank of gas, it all adds up. LaPonda Edmondson, president of the North Carolina Healthcare Foundation, joins me to talk about how their social impact program is making a difference in Robeson County.
We're investing $900,000 over the course of 3 years in Robeson County. Our aim there is to be able to support these projects that address transportation as a social driver of health.
You can learn more and join our latest Conversations on the State of Healthcare wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts, and learn more by visiting nchealthcare.org.
Healthcare?
Waiting
Why is
is
it
the
so
worst.
hard?
Healthcare is broken.
At Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina, we get it.
Really?
Really. That's why we're making healthcare better for all, starting with you.
Really?
Really. We're making plans easier to navigate by putting all your benefits, prescriptions, and details on your computer and phone. Convinced?
No, but it's a start.
We'll take it. Blue Cross North Carolina, making healthcare better for all, starting with you.
Did you know Atlantic hurricane season runs through November? From gathering necessary supplies to planning an evacuation route, now is the time to make sure you and your family are prepared. And if a storm damages our electric system, local public power providers are ready to respond and restore power quickly and safely. As a public power customer, you benefit from having an electricity provider that restores power faster than other providers do. Visit electricities.com for storm preparation tips and resources.
Every parent wants their child to grow up healthy and strong, especially if they have a special medical need. And when my son Maddox was born with a rare neurological disorder, private insurance wouldn't cover his care. But Medicaid stepped in, and now Maddox can go to school and have a future of his own. My name is Ashley, and I'm speaking up to protect NC Medicaid.
Learn more at ncchild.org/speakup. That's ncchild.org/speakup.
All of us have a role to play in promoting a mental health friendly workplace. Learn more at whatcanyoudocampaign.org.
Gold. Gold.
Because if interrupting is part of the talent, then she wins.
Giving an RBF face? Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I mean, everybody saw it.
I didn't say it. I
that picture
did not say that.
When they were asking Bill and she interrupts him and they look at her, that's evil. Like,
yeah.
I was waiting for the lights to come out of her pupils.
You're not wrong.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Christine Brennan next hour. Also, UNC has set a record, a football record, and we will tell you what that is at the top of the hour. Right now, it's time for one-timers.
All right, so kicking things off, you can also put it on our YouTube stream or at me on Twitter, but we did have one from yesterday we didn't get to.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
From William, it's okay, it happens. Did the ACC commissioner this morning, which was yesterday morning, come off of a bit as a salesman, like digging up stats about transfer quarterbacks and other random stats, things like that? Seems like a Band-Aid.
That every commissioner does that. Seriously. That's their job. It's their state of the conference. Everybody's state of the conference. It's great. They're going to highlight the best. I think the ACC does have a lot of great quarterbacks in it. I mean, they have to perform, but we don't know if Carson Beck's going to be good because Carson Beck was hurt all last year at Georgia. So is his arm back to normal? Is his head, his focus? Because I think even before Carson Beck got hurt, Carson Beck was in some ways enjoying being Carson Beck, if you understand what I'm talking about. You got to go out and you got to perform every game. There's going to be nothing gifted to you. And, I mean, he was also injured. He's going to have to earn that at Miami. But yeah, every commissioner just highlights the best the best thing they do. I will give Jim Phillips credit for this. He called his football programs out for going 2-11 in bowl games. A lot of times, you'll just say, hey, we got 13 teams in bowls, and move on. He called it out. Can't go 2-11. He's right.
All right, next up from Derek. Will Scotty Scheffler complete the Grand Slam within 10 years like Rory?
Within 10 years?
That's what the question asks.
Yeah, he's going to do it within probably 2. Shinnecock this year or next June. Final round, I believe, is on his birthday. The following year, I believe they're in California? Something like that. Yeah, he's going to get it. I think they're a Pebble. They go back to Pebble. Yeah, he's going to get it. So, yeah, with 2 years, 3 years tops before. I mean, unless, I'll just point out that as fast as Scotty Scheffler became an unstoppable force, could go the other way, but I think he gets it within 2 years.
Okay, and last but not least, how big of an impact, in your opinion, do you think it is for the Panthers losing Josey Jewell?
Didn't help them be any good defensively last year, but it certainly thins them out at inside linebacker. It eliminates a lot of experience at that position. It means that they've got to stay healthy, but I also think they're probably going to scour the waiver wire as training camp goes on to see if they're, potential players they could bring in. But they got to stay healthy at that position now. I think a lot of pressure on Wallace.
Questioning goalie interference calls since day one. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friends at X Golf in Cary, and I have your weekend plans because I've seen the weather report for Saturday and Sunday, and it's brutal. So let's play golf indoors in the Golden Pint Scramble, 2 days, scramble-style event. And remember, if you need to know what that is, play xgolf.com/Cary. The 26th, 27th of July, 1 to 4, trophy brewing on site, all sorts of things you can taste, and prizes to be won if you're good enough. Play xgolf.com/Cary.
Move your sports day forward.
I've got a nickname for the Carolina Panthers defense this preseason, the Donut D. A big hole in the middle now that linebacker Josey Jewell got his release and Shaq Thompson was cut months ago. If Ejiro Evero gets this D shaped up in time for the regular season and finds a way to stop second-level runs, he gets a medal and a contract extension.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduce stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Do you worry about how much someone drinks?
Do you feel neglected or unloved? If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone.
Al-Anon and Alateen can help. Call 1-866-200-0223 or visit alanon.org/help.
Struggling with high interest debt? You can pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Get cash out now without touching your low-rate first mortgage. No appraisals, no waiting, no BS. The Rapid Equity Loan program at Loan Pronto is amazing. One Loan Pronto client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. They paid off debt, renovated the kitchen, and cut their monthly expenses by $1,800. That's a huge turnaround. Loan Pronto, instant approvals, low rates, no hard credit pull up front. Listen, your home equity is yours. Use it. Get cash to consolidate your debt down to one easy low monthly payment. Call Loan Pronto now for a free instant appraisal for your home and see how much cash you can get today. Loan Pronto is A+ rated by the BBB and have nearly 2,500 5-star Google reviews. Their service is off the charts. Call now to start the conversation. 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. 919-381-1760. Get debt relief now. Loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender. NMLS 166171 on approved credit. NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
This is what WRAL weather coverage sounds
severe
like.
Thunderstorm warning right now in the WRAL Severe Weather Center.
When your safety is a priority.
Indication that there is a tornado on the ground, so get in your safe spot
in this area, get in your safe spot right now.
With the tools that make a difference.
WRAL Storm Tracker is inside the storm.
WRAL has the only dual Doppler radar in Wade County.
Hear it and see it every day.
It looks like the storm is doing exactly what we predicted to do.
That's WRAL News. Weather coverage you can count on.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Workers' comp can be tricky, but my law firm will be on top of all the complicated paperwork and sneaky deadlines so that all of your I's are dotted and T's are crossed. If you've been hurt on the job, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
You're listening to The Adam Gold Show.
5 seconds to go. Ohio State has won the national championship. And a drenched Ryan Day and the jubilant Buckeyes are celebrating all over this field.
This is the most wide open I've ever seen the SEC. And frankly, I think this is the most wide open college football season we've had ever. I can make the argument for 30 teams making the college football 12-team playoff this year.
I don't think that's going to happen. Going into the season, I think we all just don't know, which is, I think, par for the course. But once we get into the season, I think we're going to know who the best teams are. But Dabo Swinney said it a couple of years ago. It was probably 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago. When the decision was made out loud, they signed all the documents to go to an expanded playoff from 4 to what we had last year, and this year will be 12. In that, let's be honest, there aren't more than 4 teams or so that really have a chance to win a national championship. I realized that Ohio State was, the 8th seed last year? Remember, they hosted Tennessee, I believe, in the first playoff game, in that home site opening round of the playoffs, and they blew Tennessee's doors off. And they just marched. They went to Oregon, did that. Now, granted, if the entire season played out the way it did, of course, Ohio State lost to Michigan late. The entire season played out the way it did, Ohio State would have missed the playoff. So the expanded playoff allowed them essentially a season-ending loss to Michigan mulligan. But if Ohio State had to win that game to make the field, I think it might have been a different story. But Ohio State knew they didn't have to win that game. So, look, I'm here for all of the, think rational discussions about expanding the playoff and what it does to the regular season. Look, we watch football. Television ratings are television ratings, but is that whether it's good for the game, it damages the regular season? And I pushed back, I think it was Ralph Russo, who I think now writes for The Athletic, used to be the AP's top college football writer, when he said about an Alabama-Georgia game during the season, which Alabama won, and said, if you think that this game didn't really matter, you're wrong. Well, in a way, he was right, because Alabama won that game and still didn't make the playoff. Georgia lost that game and made the playoff. So actually, maybe he was right, or maybe he was wrong, because The game didn't matter. It didn't help Alabama make it, and it didn't stop Georgia from making it. But my point then was, what a fundamentally disingenuous comment that is. Because everything matters more when only 4 get in. I mean, I'm just doing simple math. I've got 4 spots. How can you tell me that 12 spots puts the same emphasis on every game and look me in the eye and say that? Because that's just fundamentally dumb. I get the excitement of college football, and certainly a lot more schools were into it in the end of October, beginning of November, that would have otherwise not been. But I don't think it necessarily made the sport better. It certainly improved the end of the season, that we had more games to watch. Whether that's good or not, we'll see going forward. All right, I said we would have a Carolina record, and here we go as we run it back. Earliest ever, North Carolina sold out all of their home football tickets.
Oh, yeah. Look at that.
Earliest ever. Only a 6-game schedule. TCU on Labor Day. Richmond, Clemson, Virginia, South's oldest rivalry. Stanford and Duke. I mean, Clemson is a heavyweight.
Yeah.
Virginia and Duke, 2 of their bigger rivalry games. Obviously, the other one with NC State is at Carter Finley Stadium. Stanford, Richmond. I mean, if you're Carolina, that's probably a schedule where 5-1 is a must. Well, not a must. 5-1 is probably the high end. If you don't go 4-2, it's probably a disappointing year. But good for them. But that's what was supposed to happen.
Right.
Right, so, pat yourself on the back. Very nice.
Mm-hmm.
I like
Belichick
that.
brings the people.
I like that. Yeah, well, that's the whole point, right? Is that Bill was supposed to bring the excitement. And why Jim Phillips talked about it yesterday, the commissioner of the ACC. The ratings-driven component of how they distribute revenue. Theoretically, that's going to help Florida State and Clemson. It will definitely help Clemson. Remains to be seen whether Florida State will be good enough for it to help them. But I think it will be absolutely beneficial to UNC. Without beating the point to a pulp, I think this will be quite possibly the most interested anybody has ever been in a particular college football season.
Big time.
And it has almost nothing to do with the outcome, because I think there will be interest, win or lose.
Yeah, people
with
who
UNC.
don't even care about UNC football will be watching.
They want to see Bill Belichick on the sidelines, and some people will want to see Bill Belichick suffer. Like they want to. I want you to lose. That's the way some people will feel. And obviously, Carolina fans, people who go into this particular season with no preconceived notions. I have none. I do not. I mean, I want to see them succeed. I think there are people who want to be proven right when they said initially, this won't work. They may be right. And I've said before, I think that they are more likely to be right than wrong. But we will find out. And we'll see if Bill Belichick can coach his way to better records than maybe Mac Brown did. I mean, nobody's going to sit here and say that the Tar Heels maxed out in their each year under Mac Brown, right?
Yeah.
Just like I would say that we know that NC State hasn't maxed out under Dave Doran.
Yeah.
This is like a game a year where, and look, this is going to sound like I'm being disrespectful. I'm not, because I think this is widespread across college football's landscape. This is not an NC State problem. It's a general college football issue. There's one game a year where you go, how did you lose that? How did you lose that? Unless you are one of the very best teams. And NC State hasn't been there yet. But if you max out your schedule, and Carolina's schedule is not daunting, we'll see if they can turn that into a big deal. But way to sell out your schedule. Way to sell out your all of your games. And I saw this on Twitter, and I don't remember who said it, but I apologize. So I'm just telling you, this is not my thought. There's a big difference between selling the games out and having capacity crowds. So, if it happens to be warm on a Saturday afternoon, still got to go.
Yeah, true.
Appreciate you buying the ticket.
You got to be there.
But somebody's got to put a butt in that seat. Now,
yes.
It gets a little warm in the blue zone.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times people in the blue zone will be back inside the air conditioning, and I totally understand it. But got to get the people there.
Yeah, that's all part of it. You
Yeah.
got to suffer. I do at Panthers games.
Yeah. Have you already made plans for a Panthers excursion?
Not yet.
Okay.
I have to look at the schedule, see which game I'm going to suffer through. But we'll
Gotcha.
see. I'll be there. Hey, the last time I went, my dad was with me, and they won. So I just got to take my dad with me.
Go again.
Oh, yeah.
With your dad.
We're going to, for sure.
All right. We are going to talk to Christine Brennan, columnist, USA Today, author of On Her Game, all about the impact of Caitlin Clark and what she has meant to the WNBA, also women's sports. But see, Venus Williams played and won a top-flight WTA tennis match yesterday at the age of 45.
Yes, ma'am. Good for her.
45. Amazing. Christine Brennan next.
Talking sports so you don't have to pretend to know stuff. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, it's Adam Gold, and I know the hurricane season came to an end. Another year with a loss to Florida in the Eastern Conference Finals, 2 of the last 3. But it's been a great year, and it's going to be a great summer with all that cap room the Hurricanes have. We got a lot of stuff to talk about, from free agency to trades to the draft. We'll have player interviews, special sit-down with Rod Brindamore that he doesn't even know about yet. He'll do it, don't worry. Just stay tuned to the Canes Corner podcast on YouTube. Search Canes Corner and wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, Daydreamer. Did we catch you thinking about your dreams? With Wells Fargo Premier, a team can help you plan for them. So let's imagine your biggest dream. Not the easy one, the one behind it. The one you work towards every day and every night. Can you see it? Then we can help you plan for it. Ready to start planning for your dreams? You can at wellsfargo.com/getpremier.
This just in. Hot off the bench press. Planet Fitness has expanded strength equipment. Save $28 or more when you join today. We're raising the bar with these benches. And our hack squat will have you actually looking forward to leg day. Plus, we're still repping all the best-in-class equipment we've always had. There's no better time to get stronger. So join Planet Fitness today and save. Just $1 down, $15 a month.
Offer ends July 31st.
See Home Club for details.
It's bow time. Something new just dropped at Bojangles. Take the bold taste of a crispy golden chicken supreme that's been seasoned to perfection, then add dill pickles, Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, and a toasted bun that's great on the go. What do? You get a Bo's Bird Dog. In fact, you can grab 2 of them for $5. So when you're on the go, headed to practice, or need a snack, grab a Bo's Bird Dog. Hurry in before they're gone, available for a limited time. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time.
but sometimes it's go time. No time to stop, but the perfect time for a Bojangles Bird Dog. A seasoned to perfection Bojangles Chicken Supremes, dill pickles, and Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, all tucked inside a toasted bun. Great on the go. Try 2 Bird Dogs for just $5 or 2 Bird Dog Combo for just $8.25. Available for limited time only. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's Bo time.
When it comes to restoring cars, Diego's got skills. And with Total Wireless in his corner, the whole world sees them. With the dual camera system on his new iPhone 13, he can take amazing car photos and post them on the fly with super fast 5G, and even turn this hobby into a full-time gig. His claim to fame? Claiming iPhone 13 with 5G on us. Get iPhone 13 with 5G on us when you switch to the Total 5G or 5G Plus Unlimited 3-month plan. Total Wireless, in your corner. For limited time while supplies last. Valid in store. Device taxes and fees may apply. Requires port in and ID verification. Restrictions apply.
Give me a mountain with lots to do. Give me something simple and true. All I need is sunshine and that cool, refreshing Mountain Dew. Yes, give me my good friends. Give me that dew.
Grab some ice-cold Mountain Dew today.
Mountain Dew.
Rock out with your favorite bands at Lost 80s Live at Cocoa Booth Amphitheater, August 3rd. Grab your tickets at etix.com today.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time on a fancy water bottle with ultra titanium alloy metal. You're not sure why you need all that. I mean, it just holds water. But you're getting it anyway. Because if you're hiking near an active volcano and you accidentally drop the bottle into molten lava, your water will still be icy cold. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time. For water bottles. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
This is Adam Gold.
There will be tushes pushed in the NFL in 2025.
Push and tushes.
There you go.
Happy Hump Day!
That's brilliant.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. In about 15 minutes or so, do you want to do an NFL quiz?
We should.
Can you get somebody to come on and do an NFL quiz?
I will go to our YouTube stream and see if anyone wants to.
If anybody wants to do an NFL quiz, just because, I don't know. Just why not?
Just because.
Sports radio.
It's Wednesday.
Exactly. It is a Wednesday, and we don't have Chip Patterson today, but we do have a New York Times best-selling author and good friend of the program, the one and only Christine Brennan, USA Today, at C. Brennan Sports on Twitter. The book On Her Game, Caitlin Clark and the Revolution in Women's Sports. It's an instant. I don't know how you just add water and become an instant New York Times bestseller. Congratulations. We talked like 3 weeks ago. It wasn't even out yet. It just came out 10 days ago.
Right, Adam. Great to be with you, Victoria. Thanks for setting it all up and getting me on the air with you guys. And no, it's fantastic. It came out 2 weeks ago yesterday, officially, July 8th. And it's just taken off. I thought this was possible. Obviously it's Caitlin Clark.
Right.
The fascination with her. She's not just one of the most famous athletes in the country. She's one of the most famous people in the country. And this is that first journalistic look at everything about her, the controversies, the season, the fever season. I go back and deal with, of course, the Iowa triumphs, chucking it from the parking lot and it's going in. The fact that she's an entertainer as much as a basketball player, very similar to Tiger Woods in golf, and that people will watch who would never otherwise watch the sport, but they watch because they want to see her and see what she can do. And all of that. And I knew we had, and Scribner, bought basically whimsical, like, let's do it. No book proposal. Let's go.
Right.
That was literally 54 weeks ago. So it just was every step fast, but the reviews have been great. And again, number 2 on the New York Times bestseller list is where we debuted last week. And, we'll see where it goes. But I know this, I've had hundreds and hundreds of people in Iowa, Des Moines and Ames and Iowa City and Indiana, just, sellouts tomorrow, a sellout in Winnetka, Illinois, north of Chicago on the North Shore, like 500 books sold in my hometown of Toledo, where we kicked off at my high school.
Nice.
But it was throughout the city. Yeah. it's just the reception DC, Washington, just, people in every part of the bookstore, hundreds of people coming to Politics and Prose a week and a half ago. So it has been incredibly gratifying, and I am so honored and pleased, and just thanks to everyone who's buying the book like crazy and supporting my journalism. So it's fun. It's really fun.
Christine Brennan is joining us here. My guess is that if she wanted to run for, governor of Iowa, she probably would win.
Oh yeah. And what I'm seeing, it's like, for example, anecdotal stuff. A friend in Scottsdale, Arizona, went to the books of Barnes and Noble. By the way, everyone, support your independent bookstores.
Right.
And of course, but Amazon, again, we were killing it on Amazon for, still are, I guess, for, several weeks now. But a friend went to the Barnes and Noble in Scottsdale, asked to buy a copy like 2 days after it was out. They were sold out. He said, "How many did you have?" And the person at the bookstore said 10.
What?
So it's right. It's not just, as we know, and I know you know this, it's not just Iowa and Indiana and the Big Ten area and Midwest. It's around the D.C. Again, hundreds of books in D.C. I did an event in Westminster, Maryland, between Baltimore and York, Pennsylvania, Monday night. About 100 people. I mean, these
100 people came to a bookstore?
Numbers. Yeah, well, it wasn't a bookstore. They do now. A really cool thing. Most bookstores move to event spaces.
Okay.
So theaters. I was at the Franklin, Indiana, the County History Museum with Civil War, cool stuff. Telegrams, during Civil War era that I stopped and looked at before I went up to the auditorium, to the theater. Yeah, I mean, a lot of these bookstores now move to bigger venues, especially, I guess, for a book like this that people have such interest in. And but yeah, it was a library, Carroll County Library, on Monday night in Westminster. The bookstore is in near Annapolis, and so they moved it there. And again, people. So it's not even just Midwest. Yeah. I mean, she could run. Heck, she could probably run for president and win right now. Although she's too young to be president because she's only 23.
She'll have to retire. She'll have to retire before that happens. Christine Brennan is here with us on the Adam Gold Show, on her game. Caitlin Clark and the revolution in women's sports. Just a couple of quick things. I know the WNBA All-Star game just happened. She did not play, although she was on the court in those T-shirts, and we'll talk about the labor situation in a second. Get your thoughts on that. I know the ratings were down dramatically from like 3.4 million viewers last year to 2.2 million this year. If there's a silver lining to that, it was still the second highest viewed of all time, but a clear drop-off from a year ago. What do you make of that? Obviously, Caitlin Clark's absence matters a lot.
Right. She's just taken the sport and the WNBA to stratospheric, unthinkable heights. And then when she's gone, it settles back into a really good number, the highest number other than last year.
Right.
What I saw the ESPN public relations people, their tweet, I know those folks, and they're like historic highs for the All-Star game. And then they say, like 183% higher than 2023. And then in the small print, I mean, whoever would see PR people do this in the business of telling facts and numbers and data. Then in the very small print of their graphic that they tweeted out was that it, second to the 2024 All-Star game. Of course, no mention of Caitlin Clark, which, I mean, whatever. Although Kathy Engelbert has trouble saying they all have trouble saying Caitlin Clark's name, which is, I have that throughout the book. It's just stunning, and it's weird, and it continues. And of course, my point was that why not just say it's the second highest to last year?
Right.
Like, why are we playing these games? Why must ESPN? Are people going to get their feelings hurt? Sheila Johnson said that about the Time magazine cover. There's hurt feelings. When in 2024, 25, Adam, did we start worrying about hurt feelings in women's sports? This is, we're 53 years into Title IX. What is going on? But I've seen it. I continue to see it. As I said, I quoted Sheila Johnson in the book with her unfortunate behavior of, when the Time magazine Athlete of the Year, Caitlin Clark, and then Sheila Johnson is criticizing that. Meanwhile, she is moving all of her games from the 4,200 seat arena and this last year, the 20,000-seat Capital One Arena, when the Indiana Fever came to play the Mystics, and is making hundreds of thousands of dollars off the back of Caitlin Clark by moving those two games. And, of course, Sheila Johnson is a good businesswoman and knows exactly what she's doing, but then goes on CNN and has to say these words about, oh, it should have been the whole league. What is going on? They are not babies, right?
Right.
They're strong, tough women, and everyone seems to be, and that's with my questions to Dejanay Carrington. Like, it is, the more I think about it, the more I'm on this tour, the more amazing it is how they are just having such trouble handling the greatest thing that ever happened to them.
First of all, I agree with that. I think it exposes a little bit. I mean, jealousy might not be the right word, but it is. We have, like, I discovered how great A'ja Wilson was because I tuned in to watch Caitlin Clark. I mean, I don't find that I am unusual to a lot of people who have discovered, my gosh, this might be the best. I mean, she's not the best player ever. It's either Cheryl Miller or Lisa Leslie or one of those players. Probably the best player I've ever seen. But my gosh, A'ja Wilson is a cheat code in WNBA basketball. But I do think that there are some hurt feelings because, I think all these athletes have pride, right? And I think they get they just get defensive when they have been, in their minds, overlooked, which they confuse with disrespected. And I think people have tried to walk on eggshells around that. Whether that's good or not, they should be highlighting Caitlin Clark. I probably spent too long articulating that point, but do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Oh, you just described chapter 5, 6, and 7 of my book. My journalism, and oh, absolutely. I have the great Dr. Harry Edwards. You know who Harry Edwards is? A black man, great civil rights leader, sociologist, fighting cancer out in the Bay Area. Quoted him at length. I spent a lot of time on the phone with him in August last year on her game. And he loves Caitlin Clark, thinks she's terrific. And in the quotes that you'll see in the book, he says, not me, Harry Edwards says, of course, he's the man behind the Black Power salute at the 1968 Mexico City Olympics with the two U.S. sprinters, Carlos and Smith. And he says, Harry Edwards says, the WNBA failed the players. So you've got a 74% black league, which I've covered. Keep in mind, I was covering the league. I was in Atlanta in 96 when it basically began.
Right.
1999, I was on the sidelines for Lifetime TV. I've heard that some people are saying, well, she hasn't been around. What, the 90s don't count as being around the WNBA? Again,
right.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of anger or jealousy or whatever about this book too, as we're, obviously doing great. But how weird is that? I mean, how many people wrote Tiger Woods books? No one talked about it. It's very troubling to me, fighting for women for all these years, seeing the effects of Title IX, the incredible that we're teaching women to be raised just like men, and then to watch this, right? It's really weird because they're strong, they're tough, they're college graduates, Title IX, 53 years old, and we're still seeing this, whatever this is. But I chronicle it all. So anyway, 74% black league, never got the attention they deserved from the male-dominated mainstream sports media. You know how hard I tried. I would be on radio shows getting laughed at myself. Oh, don't go to the women's Final Four. They're just rolling around on the floor, jump balls. It's ridiculous. I'd cover the WNBA. I'd go again on radio, sports talk in D.C. or whatever, and then people would laugh. That's fine. I don't care. If this stuff bothered me, I would have been hiding under a bed in 1982 and never come out. So, it's fine. But I was fighting those battles for coverage, not necessarily for all great things, but just we need to cover it, whether it's good or, good play, bad play, whatever it might be. These women deserve our attention. They deserve our coverage. When I was at the Washington Post, USA Today. Okay, fine. Anyway, it didn't happen then, but it's happening now. I wish it happened then, right?
Right.
I was fighting for that, right? But it didn't. Facts are a funny thing. Facts are facts. Maya Moore is a name that you were looking for. Maya Moore, 4-time WNBA champ, obviously UConn superstar, Hall of Famer, never got the attention she deserved.
She got more attention when she left the sport to go fight for the freedom of that person who was incarcerated, right?
A family friend who she ended up then marrying, and they
Right.
have a child. And that story is in the book. And Maya Moore and the WNBA players were a full month ahead of, this will blow your mind, of Colin Kaepernick. All of this is in the book, all of this, on Black Lives Matter and social activism in the wake of the police shootings of black men and women. And who knows that? No one knows that, because everyone was focused on Colin Kaepernick a month later. The WNBA was a month ahead. Again, getting absolutely zero attack, very little. The New York Times, others did write about it. Obviously, I've researched all of this. It is all in on her game, as well as pages of Caitlin Clark magic and logos flying off the page, and the joy of sports and the greatness of Caitlin Clark and what she means, and also quotes, throughout the book from her. I asked her 40 to 50 questions. But this is the issue. But again, as you said, when that spotlight shines on Caitlin Clark, to the point you were making about Asia Wilson, it also hits Asia Wilson. And now Asia Wilson is getting more attention than she ever did. She's getting more financial opportunities than she ever did. The All-Star voting shows it. 2 years ago, she had like 70,000 votes. This year, she's closer to 1 million votes. It's because the Caitlin Clark fans are voting for Caitlin, but they're also voting for Asia Wilson.
You got to vote for more than one.
Well, actually, I don't think you do. I think you could just vote for one person.
Really?
But they're not. Yeah. I think
That's
you can
silly.
just vote for like one back.
You can't vote for a starting five? What? This is primitive.
We're starting to talk about silly within the WNBA. Again, I encourage everyone to read my book. Kathy Engelbert, the commissioner of the WNBA, her State of the League, October 10th, 2024. I was there before Game 1 of the finals. 27 minutes Q&A, but also her speech and then Q&A. All about bigger arenas, moving to bigger arenas. Wonder why. All about the TV ratings through the roof. All about the highest attendance ever. 27 minutes, Adam, cannot say the words Caitlin Clark. That is in the book. And again, I go into this, but yes, we understand the why, because as Harry Edwards said, you need to understand that they're not damsels in distress, but they've never had anything like this before. They're not prepared for it. You have seminars, you have Zooms, you have Harry Edwards Zoom in with players, you have Brianna Scurry. I have her voice, the goalkeeper, the first black superstar. Same thing. Stop this and get yours. Don't let this moment go by, says Brianna Scurry, the woman who made Brandi Chastain possible with her save in 1999. As I said, the first black superstar of the most famous women's team on the planet, the women's soccer team. And those voices are in the book talking about the mistakes that the WNBA leadership made and not seeing what was coming. Extraordinary mistakes. And the NBA, Big Brother, owns 60% of the WNBA. Again, completely blew it. And we're still seeing that again this year with the Marina Mabrey hard hit. And, Marina Mabrey, when she's trying to knock out Caitlin Clark, you know who that's really going to hurt more than anyone else? Marina Mabrey.
Yeah.
Well, Marina Mabrey, because Caitlin Clark is your economic rocket ship, and Caitlin Clark is going to make all of you more money. Again, it is astounding to me that now in year 2, there still is such friction over something that is so great. Caitlin Clark's not the greatest player to ever get in the league. No, of course not. Maybe someday she will. Who knows? She's not now. First of all, she's injured. Not now. But she is the most important because she is now taking the league far beyond where it ever was. And she's more important than Tiger was to men's golf, because men's golf had already had Arnold Palmer, Jack Nicklaus. They already had the sponsors. WNBA was down at the bottom. Caitlin brings it up, and there's such jealousy to this day. And as I said, the book has unfortunately, my reporting, the book has all of that.
Thorough. I have more questions. We'll do it again another time. Christine Brennan, USA Today, on her game, Caitlin Clark and the revolution in women's sports. Very quickly, Venus Williams, only age 45, won yesterday at the WTA stop in D.C. The post-match interview was a dream. It was open and honest, and it was like for somebody like me who saw the beginning of Venus, man, that was awesome to see. Such class, and she and Serena, part of this, the individual sport different from team sports, but man, two of our all-time greatest athletes, not take gender out of it. Venus and Serena are just next level. I thank you very much, Christine.
You bet, Adam. Always great. And yes, I covered them for the length of their careers too. Spectacular.
Makes me feel
leaders.
Old.
I know.
Not you.
Yes.
Not you.
40, no, but 45, Venus? How is that possible?
That is
Serena's 40, but 44, I think. I mean, like, when or 43, when did that happen? But anyway, thanks so much and appreciate the opportunity to talk about Caitlin Clark. And there's so much fun in the book, too. It's not all, I don't hit people over the head with all the negative. There's so much positive. It truly is an American story.
Thank you so much. I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Adam.
You got it. Christine Brennan here on the Adam Gold Show. Look, it's natural for players to feel like all the attention is going here when, hey, I'm good too. And when we had this debate a year ago, I mean, you point out that in terms of a rivalry, whether it's justified or not, Angel Reese has been kind of presented as the villain in the rivalry. I don't see her as a villain. And I'm not sure there is an Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark actual rivalry. But Angel Reese is part of the equation. And athletes naturally are, hey, I'm part of this too. So I get it. I understand it. And in some ways, I think that's why, not even in some ways, I think that's why the league has, and it's wrong, but I think that's why the league has been loath to say, thank you, Caitlin, for making us, although, and the next television contract hasn't even kicked in yet, thank you, Caitlin, for making us all this money. Because the other players are also involved. But I understand the defensive nature. Should we do a quiz? Do we want to do this?
We should.
All right. If you want to play, 919-860-5326. Is it 860-5326? Yes. 919-860-5326. I don't know why I started thinking about this, but I have NFL trivia that we can goof around with for a little bit of time here. 919-860-5326. Real quick, Panthers Training Camp, day 1 today. No fans. I remember going a couple of times, this is 20 years ago, and it was ridiculously hot. Way too hot for anything. But I remember going and thinking, man, why are all these fans out here lining the field and it's 96 degrees and there's no tree cover? But man, they were out there. I also covered Washington's training camp. Not necessarily their training camp in Carlisle, because that's where they trained, but when they broke training camp and got to their training facility in Northern Virginia, stunned at how many people come to just stand outside the fence and watch football practice. It is remarkable to me. But everybody's excited right now. All right, we have Isaiah in Wake Forest. Isaiah, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you? I'm
doing well. Are you a huge NFL fan?
I am.
All right. We're not playing for anything. We're not. You don't have to make a certain mark. We're just going to see what you know. So there are 8 new NFL coaches, first-year NFL head coaches, and not all of them are brand new head coaches. Most of them are. If I give you the team, could you think you could give me the name of the coach?
Possibly.
Actually, there are 7. Not who's the first-year coach of the New England Patriots?
I don't know that one.
This is the one that was actually a coach before, Mike Vrabel. First-year coach of the Jets.
Aaron Glenn.
Very good. Very nice. First-year coach of the Cowboys.
Oh, I don't remember his. I'll
give you a hint. His dad used to coach in the NFL.
I don't remember his. All I remember is that it was a stupid choice.
Yes, Brian Schottenheimer.
Schottenheimer.
Are you a Panthers fan?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll move on. 4 teams in the NFL have not ever played in a Super Bowl. Can you name 3 of them?
Yes, the Browns, the Texans, the Jaguars, and number 4 is the Lions.
Yes, there you go.
Look at
You
him.
can name all 4 of them. So coaching, you don't know. Teams, you do. There is one team who has played in both the NFC and the AFC championship game. Who is it?
Is it the Steelers?
No, the Steelers did start in the NFL, but they did not play. Once we split into conferences, the Steelers have always been in the AFC. The Seahawks have played in both the AFC and NFC championship games. There are 7 teams with at least 4 Super Bowl wins. How many can you name?
The Patriots, the Cowboys.
Yeah, it's been a minute for them.
The Steelers.
Yep.
The Broncos. I don't know if they've won.
I think they've won 3. No, 2.
3.
3. They've won 3.
4. Dude, the Jets.
Jets. What are you, crazy? You've lost your mind.
Oh, they won they win 3 in a row at the very beginning. I thought they won 1, 2, and 3.
The Jets won Super Bowl 3. A team wearing green uniforms won Super Bowls 1 and 2. The Packers. Right. But the Jets. The Jets haven't been really a threat since Super Bowl 3. We're working on almost 60 years of futility. We mentioned Packers. The Giants have won 4. 49ers have won 5. And the modern sort of dynasty, Kansas City, has won 4. All right, final question for you. Who is the all-time, I'm not asking you for the total number, who is the all-time rushing yards leader?
I don't think it's Barry Sanders. Is it Jim Brown?
No. Matter of fact, I have to go look at it. Jim Brown probably isn't all that high on the list, but I'll get that in a minute. Dallas Cowboys.
Emmitt Smith.
There you go. Here's the thing. This, in some ways, Isaiah proves a point. I appreciate you playing, but don't go anywhere yet. We talk about the difference between the way people process the NFL and the way people process other sports, and I'll just use Major League Baseball. The reason why we have so much pushback for things like performance-enhancing drugs or any change to the way the game is played, whether it's extra innings or the shift or anything like that, is because, performance-enhancing drugs, is because the numbers in baseball are sacred. The numbers in football are not. Nobody really cares. Like, could you even ballpark a guess as to what the all-time rushing total lead, what the number is? So it is Emmitt Smith. Within like 4,000 yards, do you think you could get the number?
Is it 28,000?
No, it's 18,355. But nobody knows that. But we all know the home run record. Barry Bonds is now 763. If we associate that with Barry Bonds and not with Henry Aaron, because some people still say 715 because Aaron didn't use steroids. Anyway,
I do.
You say Aaron, right?
I do.
Yeah, and look, it is what it is. I'm not gonna fight City Hall on that, but that's just what we do. The numbers in baseball matter more than the numbers in any other sport. So, Isaiah, you did well. We got away from coaches, and you crushed. So, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
There you go, Isaiah. Big brain on Isaiah. All right, when we come back, we'll stretch. We'll place bets. Somebody is on a roll. Ride with me. Next.
Chapel Hill to Charlotte, Greenville to Greensboro. Your sports, his state. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Your child's doctor shares your goals. a healthy future for your child. Doctors recommend vaccines throughout childhood because they protect what matters most: your child's future from preventable disease and serious illness. Discuss any questions you have and check that your child is up to date and talk about any concerns. You're right to have questions. Get real answers. Start a conversation with your doctor today. Visit vaccinesforkids.nc.gov. Paid for by NCDHHS.
Make this your best summer yet by having fun while staying active and engaged. AARP can help. Find AARP events near you by visiting aarp.org/local. That's aarp.org/local to find both in-person and virtual events. You can also learn more about living your best life by listening to AARP Without Limits, wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Ask any college student. If it wasn't for the last minute, lots of assignments wouldn't get done. So if you haven't figured out your plan for college and how to pay for it yet, don't worry, you've still got time. And with the next NC scholarship, you can still get money to pay for most or all of your tuition. To apply, just fill out your FAFSA and you could get $3,000 for community college or $5,000 for public university, and possibly more. See how easy it is to apply at nextncscholarship.org.
The North Carolina Healthcare Association invites you to listen to this month's podcast, Conversations on the State of Healthcare. Each year, 3.6 million people in the U.S. delay or skip medical care altogether simply because they can't get to a healthcare provider. From long distances to unreliable public transit to the cost of a tank of gas, it all adds up. LaPonda Edmondson, president of the North Carolina Healthcare Foundation, joins me to talk about how their social impact program is making a difference in Robeson County.
We're investing $900,000 over the course of 3 years in Robeson County. Our aim there is to be able to support these projects that address transportation as a social driver of health.
You can learn more and join our latest Conversations on the State of Healthcare wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts, and learn more by visiting nchealthcare.org.
Healthcare? Why?
Why is it so hard?
Healthcare is broken.
At Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina, we get it.
Really?
Really. That's why we're making healthcare better for all, starting with you.
Really?
Really. We're making plans easier to navigate by putting all your benefits, prescriptions, and details on your computer and phone. Convinced?
No, but it's a start.
We'll take it. Blue Cross North Carolina, making healthcare better for all, starting with you.
Did you know Atlantic hurricane season runs through November? From gathering necessary supplies to planning an evacuation route, now is the time to make sure you and your family are prepared. And if a storm damages our electric system, local public power providers are ready to respond and restore power quickly and safely. As a public power customer, you benefit from having an electricity provider that restores power faster than other providers do. Visit electricities.com for storm preparation tips and resources.
My name is Gregory, and I am the primary caregiver for our 5 grandchildren. We have worked to be a source of love and stability in their lives, and Medicaid has been a source of stability for us. Medicaid helped with all the visits to the doctor, pharmacy, dentist, orthodontist, mental health therapist, and it has helped our grandchildren grow healthy and strong. Our grandkids call me Papa or Pop Pop, and I'm speaking up to protect NC Medicaid.
Learn more at ncchild.org/speakup. That's ncchild.org/speakup.
This is Adam Gold.
While I'm watching Colombia, Uruguay, not only the end of that match, but the fight in the stands after it.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Heard it got spicy.
That was the most excited fans we have seen in 5 years at Bank of America Stadium. Man, look at all the happy people at Bank of America.
Just took the other kind of football.
Yeah, there you go. More of that.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Victoria is on the ones and twos. Vashti hurt. Bottom of next hour as we dig into day one Panthers Training Camp and no fans, which is, look, I don't know the reasoning behind it, but, man, I know from covering the beginning of Panthers Training Camp in years past, as hot as it was to see the field in Spartanburg Spartanburg. Unless you're buying a BMW, I just don't know why. It was just amazing to see that kind of an atmosphere. I mean, they really are into watching them go through NFL like drills on fields is awesome. All right, first we stretch.
Okay, so I'm always fascinated when I hear these or read these articles of like favorite this, favorite that. And so America's favorite city is, I think, different than what maybe some people would guess. Now, if you had to guess what America's favorite city is, who would you say?
America's favorite city is Boston.
No.
Wrong, sir. Wrong.
It's actually Nashville, Tennessee.
Really? Okay, that makes sense.
It does. I don't know what their standards are, but this is from YouGov, so who knows whatever their criteria is. But it was Nashville that won out, followed by a three-way tie.
Vegas?
No, see, and I'm surprised Vegas wasn't even in the top.
I don't know why I forgot about party cities. But
I know. I don't even know if Vegas is in the top 10, honestly.
Oh, wow.
It's the three after Nashville: San Diego, Colorado Springs, Virginia Beach. Interesting choices, but I thought
Colorado Springs.
I know.
Like, no offense. I mean, really?
Exactly. I don't know. That's why I don't know what their standards are. I don't know what their filters are when they're figuring out which city's the best. But number 5 is one very close to us. Charlotte. Number 5 for America's
Charlotte.
favorite city.
I
like Charlotte too, especially when the Panthers win. But I just thought out of all the cities in America, it's number 5. And Raleigh's actually in the top 10. Would you like to guess where Raleigh is at?
8th.
Very close. 7.
Yeah.
And it feels like it. So
Nice.
There's people everywhere here. So
You have a favorite city to visit? So we'll leave Raleigh out.
Ooh, Chicago is fun. I
Okay,
mean,
I've not been.
I
have not been.
But that usually, also has a Cubby game, Chicago
Right.
dogs.
Correct.
Visiting the Bean, Navy Pier. I love all that stuff.
I'm going to keep it pretty simple. Asheville.
Ah, yes.
Love Asheville.
True.
I do, even though I'm originally from New York, Boston is a tremendous city to visit.
Never been, but I've heard I need to.
Oh, boy. What a great city. Very good walkable city, too. It's not that big.
Oh.
It isn't as big as you would think.
Yeah.
And I'm a fan of Charleston, Savannah. I
Yeah.
love Wilmington, too.
Mhm.
So, not that I don't love Raleigh or Charlotte, where we'll be tomorrow.
Mhm.
But I'm a huge fan of the two, the beach city and the mountain city here in North Carolina.
I'm surprised none of those cities were even mentioned in here. They did say the least favorable ones too, which Detroit was coming in on that one.
I've liked Detroit. I've been there a few times. I like Detroit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Detroit's underrated, I fear.
Could be. Oakland and Bakersfield were also
San Francisco's fun.
in the least
Bakersfield,
favorable.
I've not been. Oakland, I was close, but I was in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Minneapolis, St. Paul is very cool. I've been there, yeah.
Yeah.
Austin, Texas is...
See, never been to Texas, but I've heard. And I've heard Houston, Austin, and Dallas are all very, very different.
Yes. Dallas is fine. Not great, not bad. Houston is way too big.
Oh.
And it's hot, but
yeah.
Food is great in Houston.
Yeah.
But Austin is next level. Yeah.
See, I'm surprised places like Charleston or Vegas or any of that wasn't on here, but it also
I think Vegas is about as overrated as a city as you're going to find.
Yeah.
Vegas and New Orleans, for me, would be tied for overrated,
Oh, yeah?
not interested.
Yeah, I've been to New Orleans. I
Been to
don't
both.
really need to go back. But I did think this was a funny little side note. They said Raleigh actually beats out Nashville when it comes to the Americans who've actually been to a city.
Really?
So, yeah, I thought that was a fun little twist. Like I said, yet again, it feels like everyone's visiting. But you know what else is really fun to do? Win some bets.
All right.
Place your bets. Place your bets. Here we are. I bet you slice into the woods $100.
Gambling is illegal at Bushwood, sir, and I never slide.
Okay, you can owe me. I owe you nothing.
2 out of 3 yesterday. We got our women's Euros, England, Italy, extra time, needed it.
Mm-hmm.
England scored at 90 plus 6, just to force extra time. And then they scored late in extra time to win it 2-1.
Wow.
Wild comeback. We got that. And we also got the Asia Wilson double-double, the Las Vegas Aces to win.
Yeah.
That was so, if you were paying attention, we got you ahead of the monthly obligation.
I know. Well, I mean, my White Sox won one.
There you go.
I at least picked the winners correctly. The winners for 3 for 3. The over-unders, however, not so much. So let's do it again. Cubbies, they are still in Chicago. Let's win the series against the Royals. I'm going to take the Cubbies, and I'm going to take the under 10. Yesterday was such a fun game to watch, too. That's plus 175.
All right, I like it. We're going to start with Champions League soccer qualification. We've got Shelburne. I don't know what league they play in. And Karabag. But this is Shelburne is the host. And I think we're going to have a draw here, plus 300.
Okay, and next up, because
people have no idea who these two sides are, but it's okay.
No, I'm going to go off of emotion again like I did yesterday because I want the Brewers to keep losing. Just go ahead and do that. They're in Seattle still, so give me Seattle to win again because they beat the Brewers yesterday. I'm going to take the under 7, which is plus 195.
All right, I like it. Spain, Germany today, women's Euros. Do Spain, they're an overwhelming favorite, minus a goal and a half, just to give yourself some value to it.
No draws today. Last but not least, still going off of emotion, let's get a loss for the White Sox. I'm going with the Rays.
Why are you piling on the White Sox?
Because I'm a Cubs fan. Give me the Rays and the over 9. That's plus 160.
All right. Well, we're almost out of time here. Mets and Angels. Now let's go Yankees and Blue Jays. Give me Blue Jays at home plus money, 120, and we'll tack on under 8.5.
Questioning goalie interference calls since day one. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Listen every afternoon for The Drive with Tim Donnelly.
Panthers Training Camp is almost here, and it's finally time, Panthers fans. Go all out to win. The years prior to this, it's about draft picks. It's about playing the younger guys, making sure they get their experience, maybe even above winning games. But this year, all of that changes. Dave Canales, Bryce Young, it's time to win.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 3 to 6 on 99.9 The Fan.
If Heineken Silver was a 60-second radio ad, it'd tell you all the stuff you need to know in only 30 seconds to keep things light and refreshing. Seriously, time me. Heineken Silver, a world-class light beer that's surprisingly crisp and refreshing. Made with only premium quality ingredients and just 2.9 grams of carbs and 95 calories. All without compromising on taste. Heineken Silver. Order now at Heineken.com/silver. Must be 21 and older to purchase. Enjoy Heineken responsibly. Whew. 30 seconds. That's it. Done. Peace.
Struggling with high interest debt? You can pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Get cash out now without touching your low-rate first mortgage. No appraisals, no waiting, no BS. The Rapid Equity Loan program at Loan Pronto is amazing. One Loan Pronto client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. They paid off debt, renovated the kitchen, and cut their monthly expenses by $1,800. That's a huge turnaround. Loan Pronto, instant approvals, low rates, no hard credit pull up front. Listen, your home equity is yours. Use it. Get cash to consolidate your debt down to one easy low monthly payment. Call Loan Pronto now for a free instant appraisal for your home and see how much cash you can get today. Loan Pronto is A+ rated by the BBB and have nearly 2,500 5-star Google reviews. Their service is off the charts. Call now to start the conversation. 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. 919-381-1760. Get debt relief now. now. LoanPronto.com. Equal housing lender. NMLS 166171 on approved credit. NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduce stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
If only life had a remote control, you could pause or rewind. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Lowe's knows big savings make a big difference, especially when you're shopping for appliances. Hurry in to get up to 30% off select major appliances. Plus, My Lowe's Rewards members get free delivery, free haul away, free installation and parts on purchases of $2,500 or more. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 7/30. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Price, delivery time, and vehicle availability may vary based on order size and location. Exclusions apply. See Lowe's.com/delivery for more details.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Getting hurt in a car wreck comes with all kinds of stress and frustration. But when you call me, I'll be on top of all of it. So all you need to worry about is getting better. If you've been injured in a car wreck, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
Runners will go. They're off. The pitch. A swing. A well-struck ball. Left field and deep. A 7-run, 3-homer, 9th inning by the Bulls. The lead was imminent. Coco Montez destroys the payoff pitch from Shaley. And the Bulls score 7 times in the 9th and have absolutely stunned the Knights. 7-4 Durham.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Victoria on the 1s and 2s. We're going to hit up the wall of sound here. And then I want to talk about the ACC's place in the college football ecosystem and why, even though the league has basically paved the way for a lot of teams to exit if they want in the next wave of conference realignment, and there will be another wave of conference realignment. I'll explain why I wouldn't be shocked if nobody did. We'll get to that in a moment. And Vashti will join us from Spartanburg at the bottom of the hour. CarolinaBlitz.com on site covering the Panthers and training camp. Right now, though, it's time for the Wall of Sound.
The Wall of Sound is a function of this studio. There's no doubt about it.
And we'll start with some football stuff. And we'll start with Panthers before we get to other football things. And we will start with Robert Hunt, guard for your Carolina Panthers, on really from a personal angle, but maybe also bigger picture. The vibe this year as opposed to last in training camp.
I think last year was nobody knew, you know what I mean? Including me, I got into a situation here, you know, not really knowing what I was getting into. Didn't know much about Carolina, didn't know much about the Panthers, never really watched them, kept up with them. But then getting into the building, getting into the stadium and playing the game stuff, you see, I don't know, you can feel it, man. It's, this city, speaking for the city, has a lot of hope. They want winners, and you can feel it once it's kind of close. We won 5 games last year, which is not great by any means, but it felt like we were doing something great. You know what I mean? Because it's the city looking for it. So that vibe feels great. The team vibe feels great. I feel like the teams feel that, and we all want to be good, man, no matter what it is.
All right, I don't know if the vibe felt great for 5 wins. I think if we were looking at it honestly, we would say that at the end of the season, and we're not just talking about the last game or two, maybe the last half of the season, we saw signs that pointed to a quarterback who was growing and getting better, and we'll see if he can ever reach the heights that you would expect from a first overall pick. Whether it's the way he played in Philadelphia. Isn't that where Xavier Legette dropped the pass that would have beaten the Eagles? Right?
Yep.
The drive that put them ahead against Kansas City late. We had a few of those that they didn't cash into wins. And then the last couple of games you went, oh, this looks like the first overall pick. As I've cautioned many times, and I'll just say it again, how much value to place on games where the outcome doesn't matter. The performance always matters, but the outcome, when that doesn't matter, it changes the dynamic, not only for you, but for the team you're playing. So I'm going to wait to see, and you're not going to learn in training camp, but at the beginning of the season, now we're going to find out, because these games matter. You could hear in Robert Hunt's voice right there, the Panthers believe as a group that they can win the division and make the playoffs. They believe they can do it, which I would tell you is probably the same for all 32 teams. And when it starts in Jacksonville, the first Sunday of the season, that's when the pressure mounts. Because it is a winnable game. And when you have an opportunity to start the season right, especially when you know that Jacksonville is in the exact same position as Carolina, now you've got game pressure. And we haven't, or game pressure we've had. The outcome matters. I'll just bring this up very quickly as an example of why I say it that way. LeBron James went back to Cleveland, and the expectations for that franchise became competing for championships, as they did before LeBron left for Miami. When LeBron left for Miami, they drafted Kyrie Irving. Irving had not played a game where the outcome mattered since getting to Cleveland. They brought in Kevin Love from Minnesota. Same deal for him. Compiled a lot of great stats, but the outcome didn't matter because they weren't any good as a team. But all of a sudden, for Kyrie and Love, the wins and losses were more important than the points and the rebounds and all of that. So looking forward to the start of the season to see that and how Bryce Young and the rest of that team, including Dave Canales, handle the pressure of gotta win. Speaking of Dave Canales, bad news yesterday in that Josey Jewell still has not yet recovered from concussions he suffered at the end of last season and was released by the team. Here's Canales on what they're missing.
Yeah, I mean, we had to adhere to the normal concussion protocol, which we did. We did all that. And first, to talk about Josey, you talk about a leader. Guy didn't say a lot. When he talked, people listened. The toughness, the character, the aggressive style of play, always making plays on the ball. You know, throughout his career, the reason why we brought him here, and I think for me as a first-year head coach last year, to have somebody that I could point to who really exemplifies the type of effort, the type of physicality, the character. He's a no-nonsense guy. You know, he wants guys to just look at the truth of what it was, get to the bottom of it and fix it, and he was always at the heart of those conversations. So it's a big loss, definitely for us from that standpoint, you know. And then as far as the rest of it, we just kind of had to take it at Josey's pace, and with all the specialists that were working with him, you know, Dan and Brant, you know, worked with the agent and talked to them, and we felt like this was the best outcome right now, with the first, you know, and most important thing for Josey is getting healthy, you know. And getting him to a place where he can make that sound decision on playing football, which he wants to do, or whatever is after that. So I'm proud of the fact that we just had upfront conversations throughout the whole time, and that's what I appreciated about the interaction.
To follow up on that, when we talked to you in March, you were kind of glowing about the signing of.
All right, here's what really happens. You look at the Panthers depth chart, and it leaves Christian Roseboom and Trevin Wallace as the two starters at inside linebacker. We'll see if it matters. Trevin Wallace that's the guy they drafted
third.
I think in the third round, right?
Last year. Mm-hmm.
So, look, he looked like a good player. Can he be an impact player at inside linebacker? Don't know. But it does leave them thin in the middle of their defense. They're going to have to stay healthy, which I guess was the case anyway. But they're also going to have to stay healthy in the defensive line. That will protect your linebackers and let them flow to the football. All right, Bryce Young is the quarterback, and we're starting to see a little bit more personality out of Bryce. This is all part of being more comfortable in who you are. A little success doesn't hurt. Now, in the offseason, they trained at his house or something. They were on a boat, right? All these guys. And here's what Bryce Young loved, bonding with his teammates, but there was something he didn't love about that.
I don't like sitting around being wet, if that makes sense. I don't like seeing after you get out the water, your clothes, your shorts is wet. I don't like that feeling. I'll be honest with you. So that's why.
I don't like being wet.
All right then. Okay. So that means he doesn't take long after showers. He's like, nope, gotta dry off, get out.
Do we have towels?
Yeah.
Do you have towels?
Right.
No towels?
I think so.
Interesting. Good. I'm looking forward to, following Bryce, wet or dry. All right, Phillip Rivers, NC State legend, is announcing that he is retiring officially from the NFL.
I'm Phillip Rivers, quarterback, and I'm retiring a Charger. I think gratitude really is the first thing that comes to mind.
One of the greatest gamers of his generation.
There were so many highlights and fun Sundays.
Phillip Rivers just ripped it.
That boys all together. So many. But what I miss and what I'm most appreciative and thankful for are those relationships. The things that were behind the scenes.
The Chargers are alive!
What you lived every day. It's the days at Murphy Canyon. On the practice field.
One time! Oh, yeah!
You miss those moments.
Hey, team, baby, team!
Here's the thing about Phillip Rivers. I had my quarrels with him, getting into verbal spats with fans, which he did routinely. Not good. We don't need to do that. But it spoke to his drive as a player. He played with emotion all the time. 6th all-time in passing yards, 6th all-time in passing touchdowns. He's also up, by the way, 8th or 9th in pick sixes. Not even lying.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. Do you know who has thrown more pick sixes than any quarterback in NFL history?
Is it oh my gosh,
This is a trivia question I didn't use before. No. Jameis, he did twice in a game, right?
Where he started praying that he would not have a pick six last year. Yeah.
No, the answer is Brett Favre.
Oh.
32 times.
Look at that.
He has thrown a pick six. Matthew Stafford is second all-time with 30.
Oh, no.
30. Andy Dalton is on that list, too, by the way.
Wow.
He has got, I think, 19.
I'm kind of surprised Baker Mayfield's not somewhere in there, too.
Sam Darnold. The first pass he threw in the NFL was a pick six. So, yeah, Brett Favre, 32 pick sixes thrown, most all-time in the NFL. All right, one more thing, and this will get us into, quickly, our next topic. Curt Cignetti is the head coach at Indiana. our friend Chip Patterson and company on the Cover 3 podcast. And the question you will hear will come from Bud Elliott, who's really in charge of 24/7 sports recruiting coverage. But he's a former FSU reporter. But the question is about the fact that it seemed at times maybe a little touch and go for Indiana to make the college football playoff.
Eddie, were you actually nervous that they might take a 9-3 team over y'all's one-loss team? Like, how much were you buying into the rhetoric and some of the stuff from the shows that that might happen?
No, I wasn't. Not after the Purdue game. I did get a little nervous after we lost to Ohio State, and then subsequently the SEC teams went down later in the day, because I could feel the tidal wave coming from the South and major networks that cover the SEC.
Sure.
Yes. Like, where'd this come from? I thought we were a feel-good story. All of a sudden, we're the hunted enemy. When did that change? Is this just a bad dream?
Why are we the bad guy? No one's made us the bad guy.
All right, at the end, we got Chip Patterson there, so it was cool. We had Chip on the show today.
Yeah, so it's still kind of a Chip Patterson Wednesday.
Look, I know it's Big Ten Media Day, so everybody's going to be speaking glowingly about the Big Ten. It is funny that we have ignored. Like, I don't believe you should ever consider. The losses have to matter. The schedule matters, but the losses have to matter. And Alabama lost 3 times. The debate should never have been Alabama or Indiana, and why it was really is a service of, A, the overall reputation of SEC football, which I'm not arguing. They should, beat their chest over how good they've been. And a disrespect that is placed on ACC football, because really the debate should have been Miami and Indiana, not Alabama and Indiana. Indiana beat nobody last year. Nobody. They crushed nobody, because when they won, which was 11 times, they laid waste to the competition. And look, we had these back and forth with Chip Patterson all last year. My opinion is that I've never said that Indiana was bad, just that how good really are they? They haven't beaten anybody good. Because I do think you've got to beat good teams, and they didn't. I've always wondered why we complain about who you lost to versus who you beat. And maybe at that point, the Alabama-Miami debate goes in the category of Alabama, who did beat Georgia. Right? But set that aside. The losses also have to matter. So Indiana gets full marks for going 11-1 in the regular season. But, I mean, Miami's 2 losses were totally acceptable losses. But it was never part of the discussion, which speaks to the overall strength of the ACC and the perception that isn't very good. So now let me get to the reason I brought it up this way. Actually, no, we're going to, on the other side, I forgot we haven't taken the break yet. We're going to take a quick break. Yes, no?
Yep.
Yes, we're going to take
That's
a quick
good
break
idea.
and come back. Yeah, Vashti Hert's going to come up at the bottom of the hour. But when we come back, I'm going to tell you why, even though the settlement with Florida State and Clemson looks like it spells the end of the league, why it might not at the same time. Next.
From the heels,
Touchdown, Carolina!
to the canes.
She scores!
He covers it all. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Join 99.9 The Fan live from Charlotte this week as we bring you the stories from ACC Football Kickoff.
Touchdown, Carolina!
We'll talk with the impact players and coaches from Carolina, Duke, and State and get their thoughts on the new college football season. Don't miss a single minute. It's ACC Football Kickoff.
Touchdown, Wolfpack!
Presented by Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC in Sanford. Listen on 99.9 The Fan. Watch with 99.9 The Fan on YouTube.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friend Gordon Miller, Miller Lending, Kildare Farm Road in Cary, home of the original no closing cost mortgage. Are you ready to have your mind blown? You can save money when you buy a house or when you refinance a house just by not paying closing costs. That's right. Just don't pay them. Go to Miller Lending and you won't have to. Banks, other lenders, either charge you closing costs, which thousands of dollars, or they roll those closing costs into the loan amount. You don't want that, by the way. And I just saw that rates ticked down just a hair. Maybe it's a sign of things to come. If so, don't pay closing costs ever and refinance free of charge when the rates come down. Save yourself thousands and then hundreds. I'm an 11-time customer. I would not steer you wrong. Miller Lending on Kildare Farm Road in Cary since 1996. They are an equal housing lender, NMLS ID 250-2146.
It's bow time. Something new just dropped at Bojangles. Take the bold taste of a crispy golden chicken supreme that's been seasoned to perfection, then add dill pickles, Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, and a toasted bun that's great on the go. What do you get? You get a Bo's Bird Dog. In fact, you can grab 2 of them for $5. So when you're on the go, headed to practice, or need a snack, grab a Bo's Bird Dog. Hurry in before they're gone. Available for a limited time. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time, but sometimes it's go time. No time to stop, but the perfect time for a Bojangles Bird Dog. A seasoned to perfection Bojangles Chicken Supremes, dill pickles, and Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, all tucked inside a toasted bun. Great on the go. Try 2 Bird Dogs for just $5 or 2 Bird Dog Combo for just $8.25. Available for limited time only. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's bow time.
Are you in charge of running the building maintenance plays at your workplace? If you're facing roofing issues, you gotta get RoofWorks into the game. Hi, this is Holly with RoofWorks. You can count on us to be your MVP when it comes to taking care of your commercial building roof. We handle leaky roof repair, coatings, total replacements, upfits, and we even do commercial gutters. Let us show you what a valuable addition we are to your building maintenance team. Contact us today online at roofworks.com. That's roof, WERKS.com.
Are you ready for the ultimate entertainment experience? It's all here, only with Spectrum TV Select. Popular apps are included: Disney Plus, Max, Peacock Premium, Paramount Plus, AMC Plus, and more. And live TV for sports, entertainment, and news. Enjoy across your devices no matter when or where you are. Get Spectrum TV Select and start streaming your favorites today. It's all here. Visit spectrum.com/entertainment. Restrictions apply.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want to boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Turn things all the way up and find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy.
One Adam Gold. One Adam Gold.
I'm really excited about next season, considering this was supposed to be a rebuild year. But with these new guys, like Bradley Nadeau, we've got Nikishin coming eventually. If we've got Hall still here, Jackson Blake, I mean, there's so much promise and potential. I'm super excited for that.
Yeah, and just wait till the big kid gets ready to play.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I'm Adam Gold. Vashti here in about 10 minutes. The woman behind CarolinaBlitz.com is in Spartanburg as the Panthers open training camp. It's super hot there because, well, it's July in Spartanburg. Before we get to that, so we heard from Curt Cignetti, Indiana's coach, about, were they ever nervous that they were going to get SEC'd out of the playoff? That did not happen. But I want to flip this around to the reputation of the ACC. And recently they settled their lawsuits with Clemson and Florida State. And as we got the details of that settlement, we found out that the cost of exiting the league before the contract expires in 2036, That's how long the ACC's deal with ESPN is still valid, until 2036. The cost to exit the league drops dramatically to the point where almost any school, if they had a lucrative landing spot, and we're talking here either the SEC or the Big Ten, almost any school would do it. And there was an article not that long ago where Carolina was like, yeah, we want to be in the SEC. Like, okay. Careful what you wish for. I'll use Oklahoma as a cautionary tale. What was Oklahoma's record last year? 6-7? Something like that. They got to the SEC and realized, oh boy, we don't like this. Not everybody can win. So while we might think Clemson and Florida State will exit for bigger dollars, and they could certainly get more money in another league, even than they're going to get based on all the ways that the ACC will change in how they distribute revenue to a more reward-based system and then a system based on television interest and ratings. The only way to maximize that is to actually win. And if I might be so blunt, it is easier to win big in the Atlantic Coast Conference in football than it is in the SEC and even in the Big Ten. In the Big Ten, there are schools. I'm not knocking all of the Big Ten. I was just pointing out that Indiana's schedule was trash. But whether it's Ohio State, we have, maybe Michigan will still be great under Sherrone Moore. Penn State has certainly been really good. Oregon, Southern Cal should be better than they are. There should be a lot of good football played in the Big Ten. Hasn't necessarily worked out that way, but there are certainly huge universities, great passion for football, and huge pockets. The ACC, just this is the reality that we've been living with for the last several years. Too many of the ACC's football schools haven't been good. So last year, Florida State goes 2-10. In a year where the ACC could not afford to have one of their, football flagships, we'll call them, not be good, because Clemson was not good for Clemson. They won the league. Okay. They need the football programs to be excellent. So, Florida State coming off a 2-10 year. Virginia Tech, I can't remember the last time they were legitimately good.
Yeah.
Can't remember it. This league, and I'll use the term we need the Hokies to be good.
Mm-hmm.
Like legitimately good. Their opening game at South Carolina, man, what a litmus test that is, because South Carolina is good. They're not great. They're good.
Yeah. Even Jim Phillips mentioned.
He said can't go 2-11 in bowl games.
Right.
But I will say it's beyond bowl games, because bowl games, man, it's really a crapshoot. You don't know who's playing. You don't know who cares, all that. And the matchups are also a little bit weird. Regular season, good. When is Virginia Tech going to get back to that? Honestly, and I think one of the teams to watch in the ACC this year, in terms of they might be able to take a step forward, Georgia Tech. This is a school that should be better in football. In the state of Georgia, who has produced a top 5, maybe a top 4 state in terms of producing major college football talent, NFL talent, Georgia Tech should be a little bit better. Yeah, difficult academically. That's not that much of an excuse. So, Tech, Virginia Tech, NC State, North Carolina, Louisville, these schools, Pitt, these schools that either have football tradition or want to be players in a grander college football universe, it's up to them to be good. And it's up to Miami, Clemson, Florida State to be great. And that's about them. That's not about the league. That's about those schools. When those schools get it, ACC football will not be looked at as a joke. And it's going to take time. It's not just a year. It's a series of years. But when we get to 2030, this is the magic number where people think, man, everybody's going to leave the league. If Clemson, Florida State, Miami, etc., North Carolina, if they're having football success in this league and having financial success in terms of shared revenue and staying relatively close to the groups in front of them, there's no real reason to leave. Just for a paycheck? And unless the paycheck is dramatic, if you're doing well financially where you are, don't go. All right, when we come back, Vashti Hurt, she is at Panthers Training Camp. We'll talk to her about the mood, the vibe. Nobody knows it better than Vashti. Next.
Talking sports, dropping truth. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
I had questions about my child's vaccines, so I got real answers from her doctor because we share the same goal, keeping her healthy and strong. Her doctor told me that keeping up with childhood vaccines, getting them at the recommended ages and sometimes together, is a proven way to protect her from serious illnesses, ones that can be prevented with vaccines. Have questions? Get real answers. Talk to your doctor. Visit vaccinesforkids.nc.gov. Paid for by NCDHHS.
Make this your best summer yet by having fun while staying active and engaged. AARP can help. Find AARP events near you by visiting aarp.org/local. That's aarp.org/local to find both in-person and virtual events. You can also learn more about living your best life by listening to AARP Without Limits, wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Ask any college student. If it wasn't for the last minute, lots of assignments wouldn't get done. So if you haven't figured out your plan for college and how to pay for it yet, don't worry, you've still got time. And with the next NC scholarship, you can still get money to pay for most or all of your tuition. To apply, just fill out your FAFSA and you could get $3,000 for community college or $5,000 for public university, and possibly more. See how easy it is to apply at nextncscholarship.org.
The North Carolina Healthcare Association invites you to listen to this month's podcast, Conversations on the State of Healthcare. Each year, 3.6 million people in the U.S. delay or skip medical care altogether simply because they can't get to a healthcare provider. From long distances to unreliable public transit to the cost of a tank of gas, it all adds up. LaPonda Edmondson, president of the North Carolina Healthcare Foundation, joins me to talk about how their social impact program is making a difference in Robeson County.
We're investing $900,000 over the course of 3 years in Robeson County. Our aim there is to be able to support these projects that address transportation as a social driver of health.
You can learn more and join our latest Conversations on the State of Healthcare wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts, and learn more by visiting nchealthcare.org.
Healthcare? Why?
Why is it so hard?
Healthcare is broken.
At Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina, we get it.
Really?
Really. That's why we're making healthcare better for all, starting with you.
Really?
Really. We're making plans easier to navigate by putting all your benefits, prescriptions, and details on your computer and phone. Convinced?
No, but it's a start.
We'll take it. Blue Cross North Carolina, making healthcare better for all, starting with you.
Did you know? Atlantic hurricane season runs through November. From gathering necessary supplies to planning an evacuation route, now is the time to make sure you and your family are prepared. And if a storm damages our electric system, local public power providers are ready to respond and restore power quickly and safely. As a public power customer, you benefit from having an electricity provider that restores power faster than other providers do. Visit electricities.com for storm preparation tips and resources.
My name is Gregory, and I am the primary caregiver for our 5 grandchildren. We have worked to be a source of love and stability in their lives. And Medicaid has been a source of stability for us. Medicaid helped with all the visits to the doctor, pharmacy, dentist, orthodontist, mental health therapist, and it has helped our grandchildren grow healthy and strong. Our grandkids call me Papa or Pop Pop, and I'm speaking up to protect NC Medicaid.
Learn more at ncchild.org/speakup. That's ncchild.org/speakup.
This is Adam Gold.
He said he could talk about his golf game. He did say it wasn't great, and I said, hey, no judgment here. I'm a drive shacker and a putt-putter myself.
None of us are good. Even those of us that are good aren't really good.
Right, yeah.
We're just not.
Yeah.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Victoria producing the program. And we will be in Charlotte tomorrow for ACC football kickoff. That, of course, is indoors, unlike what Vashti Hurt had to deal with today out at Panthers Training Camp, which is outside in Spartanburg. I trust you have cooled off, Ms. Hurt, at Keep Blitzin on Twitter, CarolinaBlitz.com. How you feeling?
I'm actually feeling good. It wasn't too bad today, and I looked at the weather report before I came out, and the humidity wasn't bad today. The humidity was kind of perfect, which made the actual temperature more palatable. But the humidity jumps back up tomorrow, and it'll get worse as we head into the weekend. So I'm thankful for today. It was really not that bad today.
It always messes with my hair. Vashti Hurt is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. All right, so we heard from Robert Hunt earlier about the vibe. Like, personally, for him, really didn't know what to expect. But as a team, there was so much uncertainty last year. This year, even though they only won 5 last year, do you sense a much more positive playoff-type vibe going into the year?
I don't know. I wouldn't go to playoff, Adam.
But from their perspective, because athletes all believe they're going to win.
Yeah, I do think that they're going to win for whatever reason. I just think that the vibe that I get from this squad is we're in the right direction, right? So I don't think that I'm sure that the hope and the expectation is that, but I don't get the vibes that, this is a playoff or bust, this is a Super Bowl or bust team. I just think that there's a subtle and quiet confidence about this team that'll be more. I think it'll take on more of the what Dave Canales said, which was one of the strongest statements that I've heard from him in a press conference pertaining to his team. He basically said, I don't think that people are going to want to play us based on the style of play. And so I think that the team is kind of carrying that. We're going to, people are sleeping on us, but we're going to be at the type of team where, we're going to be tough and we're going to give you all that we got. And the hope is that translates into wins. So I think that the vibes are absolutely different, but it's not as overt as what you would think, in my opinion.
Vashti Hurt, CarolinaBlitz.com, is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. Here's the thing about because I saw those quotes from Dave Canales, and it speaks to me to the level of confidence that all athletes and high-level coaches always have in their ability. We're going to win because we believe it. If you don't believe it, you're never going to be successful. So I get all of that. But when you said, based on the way we're going to play, because there were times last year where I was convinced that Dave Canales was using ground and pound or keep pounding almost ironically. And so are they going to be that team? Are they going to be a physical, at the line of scrimmage team and try to run the ball down your throat? Or so what does he mean by that?
I think that's ideally that's what they want to do. with what they added last year to that offensive line and how Dave Canales says he wants to play. And I don't think that we saw that as much last year.
Mm-mm.
I think he's going to be more committed to it this year. You have two running backs who had 1,000-yard seasons last year in Chuba and Dowdle. So I think that they are going to be one of those, kind of one of those teams that is a bruiser team, and they will run it ad nauseum and then allow that to open up things for Bryce Young. And so I do think they're going to be a physical group. The hope is that they're able to meet that level of physicality on the defensive side of the ball. But I do think offensively they're going to be a tough matchup for their opponents.
All right, let me dig into Dave Canales with you. Vashti, I heard, is joining us here in the Adam Gold Show. Last year, I felt like Canales was spitting cliches left and right. It's like machine gun cliches without real substance behind it. Do you sense that he is just more comfortable having gotten through year one and the progress that they obviously made over the last 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks of the season? Do you sense a difference in him?
I think that he's the same person, still very positive, still very friendly, still smiling. But I do think that there's a level of probably self-assuredness that he has as a head coach that comes with experience. When you're new on a job, there's a level of, I'm out here, I'm figuring it out. After about 1 year, 2 years, you know things, you're comfortable in your space, you have your people, you have your friends, you have your system, your process. And I think that that's where he's at. So I do think that we're getting some less bubblegum answers from him. Like when he said that, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, wow, this is a side of him that we haven't as media seen. Maybe the players have seen it, but just for him to say, people aren't going to want to play us, that is not, we kind of looked at each other like, okay, Dan, pop your stuff. So I think that the familiarity, the level of comfort, and like you said, he's second year on the job, and people are now also talking about the Carolina Panthers, and I think that there's some confidence that comes with that as well. Well, at least talking about them more than they have in recent years, in a positive way. And so I think that we're going to see more of Dave's personality. I don't think he's changed. I think he's still the same person that he is, but we're going to see a little less bubblegum, a little more like pop from him.
I like it. I like when you blow the bubble, it pops and it gets on your upper lip and you can't get it off. Well, at least I have that because I have facial hair. Let me ask you about the wide receiver position. It was funny. I don't know if you pay attention to this, but ESPN's been doing rankings, and they did the skill position group rankings, wide receiver, tight end, and running backs, and the Panthers ranked 31st. And then they did right, yeah, exactly. And then they did, and I kind of understand it because there are question marks. We don't know how good Teteroa McMillan is going to be in year one. We think Xavier Liggett is going to be better in year two, but that's we think, not we know. We don't know what Adam Thielen is going to be like, but I still think he's going to be effective. And the depth, I mean, I kind of like their receiving core. I don't think it's awesome, but I think it's good. Anyway, funny enough is that they ranked the entire rosters and then called wide receiver the best position group for the Panthers, which is bizarre to me. So it's a long way of asking you, what have you seen from that group? Because it also includes Hunter Renfrow and Jalen Coker. I mean, David Moore. Even Horn. They've got some weapons at that position. What have you seen?
Yeah, honestly, that's one of the battles that I'm looking at closely, and during training camp this year, I will be looking at, because you really don't know. They have so much depth at that position. When you have to start trimming your roster down to 6 or 7 guys, there are going to be some players on the outside looking in that might surprise people. And so I do think I would agree that wide receiver is at least they have the most upside of any position group on the Panthers. I like T-Mac made just regular drills an amazing catch.
I saw your video.
It seems so effortless, right? Jimmy Horn's feet. There's a level of explosiveness and speed that he has that I think is going to shock people. And then you have Xavier Legette, who, from all signs and from even his training videos, is entering the season with, a chip on his shoulder and someone who was not happy with how he played last year. And Adam Thielen, who is going to be Adam Thielen. He's going to be your sure hands. I love that wide receiver group. I think that they've done a good job of trying to surround Bryce with weapons so that he's able to reach his full potential. The trajectory, like if everybody really reaches their full potential, that wide receiver core is going to be talked about for years to come.
Yeah, and the two biggest pieces of it, actually I'll even throw Jalen Coker in there because I thought Coker was super in the last half of the season. With McMillan, Legette, and Coker, it gives you not only three good pieces, but three really young guys to build through. A couple of more things for Vashti Hurt before we let her go. First of all, no fans. What's the vibe like without goofy people in costumes surrounding the practice field?
It was really giving OTA vibes, which is crazy because, we've been here for OTAs. It's like close practice. There's no juice. There's no clapping. There are no people yelling for autographs.
Right.
There was a small group of fans who were there to try to get player autographs. But it's weird, honestly, Adam, and I think that the players kind of notice the non-existence of fans. The young guys, they aren't familiar with it. But even Bryce said, that they miss the fans. I can't wait for the fans to come back because it kind of raises just even having people walking around and the mingling and the talking. It just makes it more of an event. Now it seems like work. And so, which is what it is essentially,
right.
But it just seems to it brings a little more energy when you have the fans there. But, it's necessary with the construction. I guess that was an operational decision that they made. And maybe from a player standpoint, that will allow them to hone in and focus in more. I thought there might be an area for family to come and watch. No, it literally was just players, staff, and media, and that's it.
Vashti Hurt is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. All right, this is the final thing because one thing fans missed was apparently Bryce Young is a trash talker. I don't know how good he is at it, but he and J.C. Horn and others were getting into it. What have you seen from Bryce now in year 3, especially with the success he had at the end of year 2? Do you sense that he is growing into that confidence that you need from your starting? If he could have Baker Mayfield's swagger, I think, and I compliment that because even when Baker was playing poorly, he carried himself like the man. If Bryce Young can develop that, I think it will help.
Yeah, I think with Bryce, the core of Bryce is who he is, right? He's not a flashy guy overtly. I think he has this subtle confidence about him. I remember Brian Burns said he was humble, but I know that I'm the ish. And that's how he described him. And I think that was a perfect way to describe him because as you get to know him, you kind of see little glimpses of, I'm that dude. Like, don't get it messed up. But for him as a person, I think that he's coming into his manhood. He's a guy who has had his parents around. He was in college, kind of sheltered, and now I just see him being more confident in who he is as a man, and that will then translate into who he is as a player and the confidence that he brings to the field. I think that he's innately a confident person subtly, but that manhood now is shining through. And even in his interactions with us, we're seeing more of his personality. He's talking tracks with JC. And honestly, that's something that I think that JC has intentionally started to do to kind of bring out that level of competition, and smartly as well, because, you know, JC is a competitive guy, and he was never really a big talker, but he now is talking to bring that out of that competitive edge even more so out of Bryce Young. And I think, and it's good to see. We saw it on the field today. You know, he and Mike Jack were talking to Bryce, and Andy Dalton was over there, and even that, other players, young players, kind of feed off of that, and that brings juice to practice. So yeah, I think that Bryce is growing in his manhood, but also kudos to JC for stepping, I think, out of his comfort zone, because he's always kind of been more of a quiet guy. He never really had to be that leader because they had other guys on the team like Shaq and Brian Burns and even Derek Brown, who got injured last year. So JC was kind of thrust into that leadership position, but he's embracing it, and through embracing it, he's kind of bringing even more of that edge out of Bryce.
All right,
and it's good to see.
Final thing, real quick. Are you and Sheena Quick getting together to collaborate on stuff during the season?
Yes, that's the plan. We always had Quick Blitz, our podcast, and we went on hiatus last year. We're going to bring that back, and then we're also going to do like training camp space recaps on Twitter Spaces. So you're gonna see some more collabs from me and Sheena this season and during training camp.
Vashti Hurt at Keep Blitzin on Twitter. Check out there for information. You're awesome. I appreciate your time. I love the videos. Bryce Young doesn't like to get wet. Just like that's crazy. But
he doesn't like sitting in the wetness.
Dude, towel. Just get a towel. All right.
I know, right?
I'll talk to you soon. Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks, Adam.
You got it. Vashti Hurt. Awesome. Hey, the one drawback to having Panthers Training Camp coincide with the ACC Media Day, typically it's been separated by a week. Like the way the calendar fell this week, the ACC, or this month, the ACC Media Day was later. Normally, the Panthers Training Camp starts the week after ACC, so she and her crew are not going to be obviously at, or maybe there'll be somebody else there at ACC Media Day, but usually catch up with Vashti there. They have built quite an empire. All right, should we do a quick rewind? Let's talk a little NFL, more NFL with the one and only Will Brinson. And I don't normally do this, and we'll do it like properly when we get closer to the start of the season. But we talk about teams getting confidence if you win early, and sometimes you never know what that confidence does. I've always thought that if you believe in yourself and you have success, you get a little bit better. When the Grinch, his heart grew three sizes.
3 sizes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
You could be like that. So I looked at the Panthers schedule, and really in the first 7 games, it's a pretty friendly start, and that's where we pick up me and Will.
I don't think you have a game. I'm going to double check the week 1 line here on. Do you care what sportsbook I use?
I don't care.
Sportsbook?
If you want to use FanDuel, that's fine, but it doesn't matter.
Well, I fired up. I just hit a tab and hit D, so DraftKings came up. But FanDuel probably same line. Week 1, Panthers at the Jaguars. So you're on the road. Not to get into the nitty gritty of it, but I mean, roughly for a long time, we've assumed 3 points for home field advantage. Panthers are +3, -112. Not to get into the nitty gritty of why it's -112, but it's really inching towards 2.5. So yeah, right there you have a immediate road game against a team that's probably on a similar-ish level in terms of expectations. Former number one overall pick who hasn't necessarily lived up to the hype in Trevor Lawrence, a brand new coaching staff. Jags win total is 7.5, juice the over. Panthers, I think, is
6.5, right?
6.5, juice to the over. So, I mean, again, like we're talking about these teams that are lumped kind of right in the middle, right? And then, you start to look at the other games on the schedule. You have at Arizona, they're probably like, and obviously this will change, but I mean, it depends on, what happens with week one, of course. But I mean, it's not unreasonable to, and I'm trying to get down to find the Panthers at the Cardinals. They're 4.5-point dogs right now. Yeah, that's what I would have expected.
Yeah.
You're Atlanta at home. You're probably a pick 'em, maybe a 1 or 2 point dog, depending on how Michael Penix looks early on. At New England,
all tight. Yeah.
Yeah, like that's going to be a tight game. I would think they're pretty, assuming health for the Cowboys and that they look decent, I would think they'd be like a 2 or 3 point dog, maybe more at home against them in week 6. Miami, same thing, right? I mean, like a lot depends on that first month of the season. And then at the Jets, I mean, if the Panthers are good, they'd be favored going into that game. So, yeah, like I think it's incumbent on Carolina if they want to have a good season in 2025 that they, on the road the first 2 weeks of the season is not ideal. You're on the road the first 3 of the first 4 weeks.
Yep.
You really got to you have to stack some wins early if you want to, 1, beat that win total of 6.5, and then 2, be competitive. I don't think there's a team in the division with Bucs, Falcons, Saints that is, miles and miles better than the Panthers. And again, a lot depends on, health of certain guys like Chris Godwin, maybe not ready for the start of the season for the Bucs. Mm-hmm. We don't know. Michael Penix should come out and be an MVP candidate.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden that changes. But, I think right now that division's so wide open, and these division games are going to flip who wins in there. That's just where all those factors contribute to the Panthers' variance. If they start 0-4, I mean, you can't wave the season goodbye, but it's going to be a tough road to hoe, even with 3 of those on the road.
Look, you never can anticipate, you never can assume. But the Panthers at Jacksonville, that's an enormous opening game for both. Jacksonville, I'm not convinced. I know that a lot is expected of their new head coach, Liam Cohen. So he's a brilliant offensive mind, all of that. A lot is expected of them. It's certainly in the must-win category for the Jaguars. It's not necessarily in the must-win category for Carolina, but I will say that the first 7 games present an opportunity. All right, tomorrow we will be live in Charlotte. Everything ACC football on a Thursday.